Well, you know, you're ahead of me. That's one of those games I have thought about a million times, but just never really got around to. And to be honest, I've played enough walking simulators, and it kind of sounds like that game is more or less some variation of one of those. So, to be fair, it's like I just did never get around to it. Hey, I think I'm getting sick, guys. I think I'm starting to come down with a cold or something. Oh man, and I haven't fixed my intro. I haven't... What I'm gonna do is pull it off of a stinger transition and move it to like an actual video file that I can just pop up, you know, whatever whim I want to. But like, I am so... I'm hanging in there by like a thread right now, guys. Holy crap. My sinuses, right after I got done cooking dinner earlier, hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm sneezing, I got my nose running. I can't even deal. It's more like a Telltale game. No, I didn't fix my resolution. That was a YouTube thing or an internet thing. Yeah, so if it's a 4-hour game, probably gonna have to break it into 2 streams. Longest I can probably stream for safely without my wife murdering me is probably 2.5, 3 hours. But we'll see. Yeah, either way, we'll give it a go. I'm gonna forewarn you guys. I have a, just because out of game. No, I don't know. Patriot, I don't know why these things happen the way they do. Just playing a game, it's just, you know, I'm just doing screen capture. It shouldn't make a difference. Last time you played Detroit Become Human, it was good, no stuff, no woke. Well, unless it's like a remaster or a remake, I don't think they're going to change the story after the game's already been released, but whatever. Alright guys, we are going to go through some stuff real quick. I don't know how interesting any of this stuff's going to be to any of the rest of you guys. To be honest, I was digging. I was looking through stuff to cover tonight. And short of making a video on some of it, I figured a few of these might be interesting to talk about. You found Telltale games were a bit too much of an interactive movie. See, the interactive cutscene parts of Hellblade 2 were the part that really lost me. The story sucked. Don't get me wrong, Hellblade 2, the story was dog crap, and I got burned out on that really fast, especially when you get towards the end, and she meets the other, like, the tribe captain, and she's like this girl boss, and it's just complete dog shit. Magnificently bearded. Dude, my wife is gonna make me trim this thing pretty soon. She's already told me I can't shave the beard off ever again, but it's getting a little bushy here. So I'm gonna have to shave this thing at some point. Hey, big ship. But yeah, I never played it. Never got around to Detroit. And at this point, dude, Oblivion, I said on Discord, I bought freaking Ghost Runner 2 because it was 75% off and I loved the first game. I'll probably be playing Ghost Runner 2 in 6 months if we're lucky. That's if I make significant progress through Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, on top of the other long list of games I have to play. So, I mean, Ghost Runner 2, it might count as an indie game, so maybe I could sneak it in on like a Wednesday stream or something. I don't know, we'll see. Alright guys, let's go into some of this stuff. The funniest one, probably the least significant story, but one that I just want to cover for all the laughs because it's absolutely hilarious in my opinion. I don't know. These celebrities who pretend that they actually give a shit about people are the ones that really crack me up because they all do the same performative crap where it's always like, oh, they're gonna cry for the illegal immigrants who are being deported now. They're not gonna house these people in their own houses. They're not going to do anything for victims of, you know, criminals who come to this country illegally and actually hurt people, but they're gonna be the first people to cry and virtue signal. You like stuff? I like stuff too. Hopefully we have some stuff in common. And Patriot, you are right about one thing. I probably didn't make myself super crystal clear in that video talking about Doom. I'm not wanting all women to resemble what we saw in that little snippet of that game trailer. No, I think most women should be more feminine than that, obviously. But I think that there is a significant argument that in a situation where you have a dystopian futuristic sci-fi setting where you've got hell on Earth or hell on another planet, portals coming through, and you've got like space marine type warriors, it does make some sense that you would have a slightly more masculine woman if she's going to survive, because those are the ones who'd be strong enough to physically survive. And that's where you do tend to see the more butch women who join the military. Now, I'm not saying all women who join the military are butch, and by far there are many who are very feminine and probably very unqualified. But no, I think it's just one of those, I see these reactions and it's like, okay, if you're talking about a character who's not even essential to the story and 99% of the story and gameplay is you as the Doomslayer kicking ass and, you know, decapitating demons and monsters and stuff, and there's this one character who has a questionable jawline, I just think it's such a small thing to nitpick. I don't know. You sound more like point and click puzzle games? Oh, hell no. If we didn't have some stuff in common, you wouldn't be popping in. That's a good point, DB. That's a good point. All right, so we have, of course, Selena Gomez apparently had a breakdown on Instagram today, and of course had to film herself crying over these Trump administration deportations. Now, here's the funny thing. From what I've seen, the deportations are actually extremely minimal when it comes to the extent, the amount of people who are being deported. There's several million, tens of millions of people who are in this country who are not citizens. And so far, we have a few thousand people who've been deported, most of them being people who are already on the radar as having criminal records, right? So this was Selena Gomez earlier today. She went on Instagram crying and filming herself because she is just so sad for these poor illegal citizens, right?
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children.
Oh my god. Okay, so guys, the funny thing is I haven't even watched this yet. I have not even previewed this yet. Most time on Twitter, if I see something that I think is cringe, I just leave like the mute button on. This is really, really bad. Which take do you think she went with 1, 5, 20? I don't know. I think she made herself cry so much that she legit has like the red eyes. But oh my god, this is crocodile tears.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked.
All my people are getting attacked. My people. Now, here's the thing. Apparently, I found out Selena Gomez is half Italian. So she's not even like full-blooded Mexican from, immigrant parents who came here on a refugee status, fleeing a cartel in Mexico. No, none of this crap. Yeah, she's crying over criminals being deported. You can't make this shit up. Rather than housing people or, I don't know, maybe she's sad because, I was talking to my wife about it. She's like, maybe she's sad because her gardener got deported. I'm like, it's probably more like the woman that works at the bodega around the corner from her, where she goes and pretends that she's Mexican because she knows a few words in Spanish. So she goes into the bodega or something and that gal got deported. I don't know. You thought you said taxed? My people, that's number 3.
The children. I don't understand.
Better acting than what's an act like.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't.
Oh my god. So the funny thing about Selena Gomez too, my wife watches that show, Only Murders in the Building, with all my people, the drug dealers. Yeah, that show, Only Murders in the Building, with Steve Martin and Martin Short. It's not a terrible show. I think it's got some interesting, funny parts to it. But Selena Gomez, somebody who I never listened to, like as far as music, because I'm a guy, and she had an okay couple of songs here and there, but I had never actually heard her speak until I watched this show a couple times with my wife when she was watching it. Selena Gomez, I don't know if it's Botox. I don't know if she's got like a medical condition. I think she does, where she can like barely speak. She talks like this, like with her jaw like wired shut. It's the weirdest thing. She wanted to keep her servants in her elite home. Yeah. I'm sorry. I have such a hard time believing that any of these celebrities give a rat's ass. Because think about it this way. There are situations, court cases, criminal hearings, all these things for hundreds of illegal immigrants who have come here, hurt people, killed people, stolen from people. I didn't watch it. I never watched Wizards of Waverly Place. we didn't pay for TV when I was a kid, so unless we could get it for free on our rabbit ears, there's a lot of like TV. Like I watched Saved by the Bell, and I watched Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts, and a few other Nickelodeon shows, but I never watched Wizards of Waverly Place. It was not something I saw. You can't trust the tears of most Western women. They've evolved to prey on the sympathy of good Western men by crying. They know that thanks to chivalry we care. I will say there is something to that. I would say definitely you have to be careful trusting. I would say women in general, any woman that knows that tears are, a man's weakness, because you're right. There are societies around the world who do not care if a woman's crying. And then there are societies like, we're going to just use the word civilized society over here on the West, where if you see a woman in distress or crying, as a man, you're supposed to react, find out what's going on, even offer comfort to what little comfort men tend to offer. I mean, we're more of like the charge in and bust down the door type than, just sit there. Could you take her off the screen while we talk? It's insulting. No, we got to get through the last 9 seconds of her little fake tears here.
I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Wow. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything. Well, you could start by driving a van down to Mexico, get a U-Haul, go load up a whole bunch of your buddies and bring them back. Good luck with that. Offends your vision. You remember that society? So many crocodile tears have tainted your outlook on sad. No, iCarly, I don't know. You guys are talking to the wrong dude. I stopped watching Nickelodeon Kids TV back when I was like 7 or 8. Like, we just didn't watch it in my house much. And we moved so much. Like I said, we didn't pay for television, so we had very little TV exposure growing up. Most of it was movies. We watched a lot of movies as a kid, but not so much like television. So if you asked if she was iCarly, I just don't know. I have no idea. But the funny part is she went and deleted it. Now the best part is that what's his name? Tom Homan, the border czar, actually came out and responded to Selena Gomez and says no apologies. Freaking love it. This dude, I swear to God, I understand that Trump has had a history of making really bad decisions when it comes to people he puts around him, people he trusts. Definitely not the best, I would say, at sussing people out and you like feeling people out and getting the idea about like whether or not someone's going to be good to have in his cabinet or not. There were a lot of picks the first time around. Those first 2 years were a disaster. A lot of hiring and firings, right? But this Tom Homan dude, it's like, holy crap. Wait, was she in Rugrats? Tobey Maguire's woke like other actors? Of course he is. Of course Tobey Maguire's woke. Why wouldn't he be? 99% of even if these people don't believe it, they're going to virtue signal, man. Okay, so there are people, the few actors in Hollywood or people who have connections to Hollywood who are always talking about this, like they have a big YouTube channel. They'll have like a Daily Wire type outlet. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, I know a lot of actors in Hollywood, and they're pro-Trump, but they're afraid to come out and say it. They're not pro-DEI or woke stuff, but they're afraid to say it. It's like, well, then you're either a coward and you're just virtue signaling with what you say and do, or you believe it. I mean, it's one or the other. I don't know. Tobey Maguire, I get it. He's a fan favorite. I didn't love him when I was a kid as Spider-Man. Now I think he's fantastic, but I don't know. I just assume they all are until we have no way of knowing otherwise. That's pretty much it. We stopped watching Nickelodeon back in the Rugrats days. It's been a long. Oh yeah. Well, honestly, I stopped watching Nickelodeon not long after that. Rugrats was banned in my house. We weren't allowed to watch Rugrats. People who talk about like the Satanic Panic stuff and people like 90s helicopter parents and all that was my parents. So most of the stuff that was on TV for kids, rightfully so, some of it was probably not good for kids, Yeah, a lot of it we weren't allowed to watch anyways. Every now and then you forget that Rugrats existed. It was a thing. So if actors don't come out and virtue signal, they have some closet. But can you be based if you're closeted? I mean, I don't know, man. That's what I'm starting to wonder, because that's when we get into situations like Daniel Vavra over at Warhorse, where they say he's based, he says he's based, now he doesn't want to talk, now he wants to, fight with people, and you go, is he really based? What does based mean? Does based mean right wing? Does based mean just, not complete lunatic? I don't know. I think we have to stop using the word based entirely is the problem. It's kind of like how all English dub voice actors and the voice actor industry is the problem. That is really it. That's the biggest problem. It's an issue. And honestly, it's something where we have a lot of hypocrisy, especially people who are either right-wing or anti-woke or non-communist or whatever, because a lot of people will say, oh yeah, I just want actors and entertainers and singers to not get into politics. But because it's so rare to have a comedian, actor, singer be right-wing or, against the mainstream, that when they do come out, people tend to like clamor to it and embrace it. Like, okay, for example, Aaron Lewis, the lead singer of Stained. Dude is super like anti-Joe Biden. He goes to all of his concerts either with Stained or his own performances where he does like country rock. I don't know. I guess you would just say country because Aaron Lewis's stuff with Stained is very different from his solo stuff, right? But he'll go out there, he'll have an FJB flag and stuff, and you go, while you can enjoy that, you have to accept that there is a little bit of a ironic hypocrisy to where we all go, we don't want actors to be political, we don't want performers to be political, but when it does support our side, you feel good about it. And I guess it's the fact that so few performers have ever felt safe going against the mainstream that you respect or kind of are enamored with the idea that somebody would come out and speak out against it. So, people gravitate to those people. Look what happened with Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt got canceled by Hollywood just because he wouldn't endorse Joe Biden, not because he endorsed Donald Trump, so everyone assumes he's like based or right wing, when the guy's never talked about politics. So it's a very weird dichotomy, You never like the word based, you roll your eyes every... Yeah, Kim, unfortunately the word has just lost all meaning. Not using the word based to be a based move, yes. Yeah, they have been great at gatekeeping the arts, but honestly, Patriot, I think it's because moderate-leaning, right-leaning people have given up on the arts as a, a worthwhile industry or venture, if you will. So, George Alexopoulos, G Prime on Twitter, on Instagram, he's the guy that does a lot of like cartoon. He's a really funny guy when he does a lot of like political art, cartoons and stuff. He did the animation for the Razor Fist Goes to the Badlands comic, or graphic novel, I should say. He often criticizes people like Matt Walsh because Matt Walsh will be like, the arts are stupid. We don't need to worry about the arts. Get a real degree. Go to tech school. The arts are, for the lefties, right? And then he'll complain about why there's no good conservative entertainment or art, if you will. And George Alexopoulos will be like, dude, you're the first person to say that the left has overrun the arts and all this other crap, but you're the first person to say it's not a worthwhile venture, so you can't have it both ways. Based is just as someone patting you on the back. See, I'm not even a big fan of Chris Pratt as an actor. I think he's good in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was funny as hell in Parks and Recreation. Don't get me wrong. Andy Dwyer in Parks and Recreation is a really funny character, but he's just basically playing himself. So at that point, it's like there's not really a whole lot there. He's just Andy Dwyer. He's just Chris Pratt. So, anyways, Tom Homan comes back and says, let's see here. Let's see why it matters. After Trump returned to the White House last Monday, federal agencies began detaining and deporting hundreds of migrants. Yeah, it's not even thousands yet. It's like, I think we're currently around 1,200 people who have been deported, right? Not that many. And of course, they're picking from like violent criminals and everything first. Honestly, look, if you're a criminal, if you're in this country illegally, you're a criminal. That's just the way it works around the world. Anybody who's in a country illegally, you're breaking those countries' laws. For some weird reason, we have this thing where we're just flat out just going to put up with it over here, right? So Selena Gomez says, all my people are getting attacked. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. And then, of course, she deleted the video, uploaded an Instagram story saying, apparently it's not okay to show empathy for people. How about empathy for the American citizens? That's what this is that test from, I think it was 2019 that they did with conservative versus liberal, where they have like the chart that you're seeing go all over Twitter right now, where it's, you know, your level of empathy for people in your family, your community, your social groups, and then expanding to the rest of the world. And like conservatives, their number one priority is, and empathy goes towards their family and friends and their tight-knit social group, and less about the rest of the world. Whereas liberals are like, they care very little for their family and far more for people that are in other countries that they don't know. And it's like, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I do wish the US was a little bit more like Poland, not gonna lie. Chris was not in the Kamala endorsement video, as far as I know. On math and science and things they thought would make money, but he had a passion for stories. I mean, dude, it's never too late. Start writing a book. We need more redheads. Yeah, so my grandfather on my mom's side was full-blooded Sicilian. My grandma on my mom's side was half Irish, half Dutch. So I've got a little, like an eighth Irish, plus whatever's on my dad's side. But yeah, the Irish-Italian influence is a big thing. Let her think that it's not okay. That's the thing. It's like, I don't understand why these people always will sell out their own country, their own citizens, for the sake of the rest of the world. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me, other than the fact that it goes along with that study, you know? Why do woke leftists leave America to Canada if they hate America? Well, and the crazy thing is, Canada is a mess right now, but they're 4 or 5 years away from having the same cycle, I would say, that the US has had, where again we've had a much more right-swinging pendulum that has kind of, like, you know, gone more extreme than a lot of people wanted, to some degree, obviously. Let's see, he says, I don't think we've arrested any families. We arrested public safety threats and national security threats, bottom line. Trump won the election on this one issue, securing our border and saving lives. What happened on our southern border in the last 4 years is the biggest national security threat our country has seen. True. At least in my lifetime. He said, we'll continue to do this job, adding that anyone who doesn't like the policy can go to Congress and change the law. There you go, Selena. It's all for the good of this nation. We're going to keep going. No apologies. We're moving forward. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Pope Francis says, if the mass deportation policy is true, it will be a disgrace because it makes the poor wretches who have nothing to pay the unpaid bill. It won't do. This is not the way to solve things. Guess what, Pope? You can come here and round up all these immigrants and take them and stash them in the Vatican if you want. We'll do that, you know. Vampire book in Discord. All right, cool. Most Irish are brunette or black haired. They have a whole day for celebrating gingers because they're even rare to the Irish. Oh, interesting. Well, maybe they celebrate it more because they're rotten socialists. Tekla, you got censored on YouTube, but yes, they are rotten socialists. You're 100% correct about that. So that's going to tie into our next topic, and I apologize, guys, but it has to be talked about because I haven't covered it in a video. 2 of the worst people to come out of 2024 who both talk about gaming and politics. David Jaffe and Alyssa Mercante had a little powwow 4-hour stream together, and it's very, very weird. Okay, these two, I don't understand David Jaffe. I don't understand what in God's name he is thinking. This dude started off making an ass out of himself last year, claiming that, well, I have my article I wrote on it right here, that the assassination attempt on Donald Trump looked staged. Okay, a few people said this. Why David Jaffe, of all people, came out and said it? I don't know. Of course, we had Destiny making an idiot of himself, and now he's got serious trouble, right? But David Jaffe had to come out and say, I literally started the tweet saying, I don't want him to be shot, and I don't, at least not unless he's punished for treason. Oh, okay. So it's okay if they shot Trump as long as he's being punished for treason. And it's probably not anything other than what it looks like, but it sure looks staged. Yeah. Okay. So this is a guy's opinion who we can just quickly discard, right? You always get censored. Hey, the best ones do, man. It's the way it works. You know, I think for some degree, a lot of people have a love of gingers. I don't know. I was never a big fan of redheads. Don't tell my mom. Maybe it's because my mom was a redhead. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever the reason. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I don't think it's as common as it is celebrated by the Irish. So we will get into Alyssa Mercante and David Jaffe in a second. Just want to do a quick shout out, guys. If you guys need a PC, go check out Meta PCs. I need to be pushing these guys their stuff more this year. I sold a couple of their computers last year, and to be honest, this is the computer when I'm done building my own, because I've got my newer processor in this one. I got to put a new graphics card in this computer this year, but that's it. I can't do anything else with this computer after I swap the graphics card out. I'm pretty much maxed out. So I'm probably going to buy a Meta PC for my next computer when I switch to the AM5 and everything else. But that's going to be probably a year or two down the road. But if you guys are needing a PC, go check these dudes out. And then, of course, just use the link down below, even if you're not looking to purchase it. You know, just save their information, look through their stuff. They got pre-builts and custom builds and everything else, and financing available too. So, like I said, I'm not even ready to buy one yet. It's going to be probably a year or two before I finally pull the trigger on this one, but I'm definitely going to go with them when it comes time to buy a computer. But yes, Alyssa Mercante was live with David Jaffe. Now, here's the hilarious part. This is what I find funny about David Jaffe. This dude has got 17 or 18,000 followers on Twitter, okay? Creator of God of War, if you don't know. 71,000 followers on Twitter. The man has tweets where he can't get a single like, okay? So I don't know if this is just because he's been on Twitter for so long. In fact, I don't even know how old his account is. It was, okay, so 2010. So he's been on Twitter for 15 years now. Fair enough. But I feel like most of the people who follow him now follow him for the lulz. Like, they think that he's just like a joke. And so they're just following him to, I don't know, make content about him, poke fun at him. Could be anything, right? But yeah, so Alyssa Mercante went on there. I have not looked through the comments yet. This is the lady that is so unhinged, even Adam Susser won't defend her. Let that sink in. If grifters hate her, then why do you have her on the show? You, the same guy who has been constantly grifting off their own trans son like they are less person and more your personal I'm a good person card. The people I've seen having an issue with her conduct of being a cunt online have been 100% justified for doing so. Thank you, David. And Review Tech USA was on here, another lolcow for destroying Alyssa's lawsuit. Jaffe takes the wrong side on every issue and then insists he's not taking that side. She hates God of War PS2, by the way. It's sexist and racist by her own standards. Everyone who disagrees with me is a grifter. It couldn't possibly be that I'm just wrong and with a tiny minority. That chick is even crazier than you are, Jaffe. I have not seen a single comment supporting him yet. 169 likes to 365 dislikes. Your own fans are ridiculing you for pandering and simping for this harpy. Absolutely insane. Oh, he's super lolcow. You want to stay to a redhead? Last about a year? Mental immaturity. Yeah, that'll kill it for you. Nearly every gal you've dated has some variation of a redhead. Well, I mean, to be fair, I actually dye my wife's hair for her. Hey, Grind Sultan, we're not playing games tonight. We are actually just chatting. Mondays are usually just for chatting, catching up on the news, gaming content, or gaming news and stuff. Drama, if you will. But Wednesday we're playing my side, and then which is for our indie stream we do, and then Friday we're back to Kingdom Come Deliverance, getting ready for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to come out. That is a problem I've often seen, especially in my younger years. Redheads, both guys and gals, are exotic in a way, though both men and women tend to be a bit more emotionally mature. Yeah, I guess that's fair. There's some truth, I guess, to the whole idea behind redheads being fiery and unpredictable, right? Maybe that's what people find desirable about him. I don't know. Just a reminder that even successful people can be pure losers and shit fathers. Thanks for the take, Jack. Oh, he responded to one of them. How can Alyssa say these companies are not hiring lesser people due to DEI because they're super greedy and only care about money, and then immediately follow that by saying that those same companies weren't hiring women and minorities and LGBT people because of discrimination? If they were super greedy and only cared about making money and hiring those people made them the most money, it stands to reason that they would have been doing that all along and would not have to be forced into it with DEI. Oh, brilliant. That's a fantastic response. David, you should pin that one. The dude just destroyed your entire argument. Holy crap. Patriot, I am. I'm actually really enjoying it. Hey, Mari. I wouldn't be playing it if I wasn't enjoying it. That's the thing. Hey, Grind Sultan, I already responded. We don't play games on Monday nights. Earth to Rumble. Oh my gosh. Unmute the stream, dude. So far, the guy sent 5. Hang on. Mondays are just chatting. Man, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. All right. We can thank Jaffe for having listen more content on his channel. Her actually saying she did cam work. Oh, dude, Smeg, we're going to get right into that 100%. I do okay at puzzle games, Nightcore. It depends. If they're like super... I'm not going to lie. I'm much better at like first-person shooter, third-person, you know, Elden Ring type games, Legend of Zelda, all that kind of stuff than I am at puzzles. I can do puzzles. In fact, in real life with puzzles, I'm very good. I was doing some puzzle board games with my kids, like speed tests and stuff, and I was like cleaning the floor with them. But when it comes to basic or like complex puzzles in games, complex puzzles, I can get a little distracted. Sushi Squared removed de nouveau. Which one was Sushi Squared? Nightcore, you are hyping this up way more than it probably should be. You're probably going to watch me playing the game and go, oh my god, this guy sucks. It's not a hentai game. If it was a hentai game, I wouldn't be playing it. It's just an indie horror... I don't know. It's an anime game. I'm hoping that I really enjoy it, because I don't want Nightcore to be disappointed, but we're playing it on Wednesday. That's provided I'm not sick. Like, I'm not kidding, guys. I've got cough drops, so the sinuses feel fine now. But I was having a hell of a time. How do you handle hateful comments? Ignore them. If it's not, there you go. So Mari, if it's an argument, but it's not mean or spiteful, respond, you know, as nicely as you can, as respectfully as you can, with a explanation for where you're coming from. But if it's hateful, just ignore it. Move on. Oh, Suicide Squad. Yeah, Mahendra, we're doing that on Wednesday. I saw it on sale over on Instant Gaming, so I picked it up. But yeah, I mean, Mari, you're never going to make everybody happy. In fact, we were talking on Discord about the last video that I just released because of the fact that I probably rushed the video more than I should have. I could have taken a little bit longer to maybe explain my thoughts a little bit better. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And you can always address it down the road if you really feel bad about it. Like, oh, you know, maybe I should have explained it better. The guy that... Daniel Vavra shared his video, Mr. Hardcore Mode. And then he put out a video a couple days later saying, you know, while in that video I did feel a certain way, since then things have happened and I have to apologize for the way I came across because now I've changed my mind. And it's like, it's okay if you change your mind. I think, I can't remember, Patriot, if I said it to you or if I said it to somebody else, there is nothing wrong with taking as long as possible to understand how you truly feel about something. So while it's easier to react quickly, impulsively, and a lot of us do that from time to time, I've been known to do it, there's nothing wrong with also then taking time to process and you go, okay, well, you know what? I've taken a little bit longer to think about it and I've finally figured out how I really feel about something. So yeah, Mari had a video reacting to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and from what I saw, it seemed like everything was... Let me bring up the video. I think everything was generally positive, Mari. I mean, I don't have the like to dislike... Oh, I should just have you in. Let's see here. I have to unsubscribe from some people. My my subscriptions and For You is an absolute god-awful mess. Let me see here. Mari, you should be closer to the top. I just watched your video. I don't think it matters on here. I think if it's the app, it's one thing. If you have it on the desktop, it's something else entirely. Let me see. That is so weird that you're not popping up here in the top. My Side's a based Russian game. I respond to hateful comments with jokes, usually belittling myself more than they ever could. Usually the confusion silences them. Hey, you know what, Wild? I had that one where that guy was like, your gay voice is annoying me. And I was like, yeah, imagine how my wife feels. And it's like, I couldn't have thought of a better response, you know, if I'd taken longer to think about it. That was the first thing that popped into my head. And I was like, yeah, you know what? If you're gonna like crap on my voice, I literally have no control over that. There's nothing I could possibly do to change that. So Hey, you and me both, buddy. You know, it is what it is. Oh, Mario, you're good. I get distracted 24/7. It happens to me all the time. I'm just trying to figure out like what, like, okay, now the channels I watch are drawn towards the bottom. Interesting. Very strange. Okay. Yeah, you got 2.4 thousand views on this video. That's really good. And actually, I saw that you climbed over 700 subscribers, Mari, so congrats on that. That's awesome. Let me see here. Let me go through some of the comments real quick. Reading the comments attacking her is insane. She's giving her opinion. I believe she has better facts than someone who glanced at some wiki article. Let's see here. A lot of bots defending this game in the comments. Game's disgusting and racist. Translate. Anyone who buys this game is not a fan of Japan. Let me see here. So far, I'm seeing a lot of positive responses. Everyone is talking about the people attacking you, but I don't see the comments from the people attacking you. Kind of stop buying games from Western developers. You're an audiophile, pretty big one, and you love your voice. Okay, that's good, Patriot. Yep, Mari, we all dislike our own voice. If you don't dislike your own voice, you might have some issues, to be honest. Uh-oh. New Blackstreet is here. Oh, God. Hey, guys, how's it going? It's funny, I was just giving Kata crap earlier today. Hey, Kata, how did that post you did earlier, how did it work out, your bait post? Did what get censored? What were we talking about, Mari? Never fear the bots, they're not human. Yeah, don't fear the bots. You're scared to live stream because haters sub. I don't, Mari, most people who sub are not going to be people who are going to hate on you. Honestly, most people don't sub just to hate on people. Hey, Aztec, how's it going, buddy? Hey, Toasty. Yeah, I like Mari's voice too. So here's the thing, guys. Everyone's judgmental about their own appearance. Everyone's judgmental about their own voice. At some point, you either get past that or you're stuck forever, perpetually, like scared to go online, show your face. I mean, look, I have to listen to my videos occasionally to make sure that everything is working properly, right? The person here says, I believe you're misunderstanding a lot of this game as a whole, focusing on minor details. Okay, now we get down to the bottom here. This is where people are being very nitpicky. Well, see, Mari, here's the thing. This is what's going to happen. Hey, Atreus. How's it going, dude? What just happened, Blithian? I don't know. Kate is salty. His queen got dethroned. Which queen are we talking about? Hey, we are, I wasn't going to say a gooner-free channel. You can feel free to goon, but there's nothing to goon at. You think YouTube put comments in order of more likes? Well, hey, that's a good thing, though, because then people are going to see the more positive comments towards the top, Mari. Hey, Lord Shadow, we're going over a few things. We were actually just about to get into Alyssa Mercante and David Jaffe. Basically tanking her entire lawsuit against Smash JT. The Imperium will never falter. Hey, you know, I believe you guys are free to goon even if I don't partake. It's that simple. I'm just going to put in another cough drop so my sinuses don't continue killing me here. They're gooning at me? Well, I'm not showing my feet. Kata has a thing for feet, apparently. I'm new to the lore around Kata, but I still have a hard time believing he's black. You're gooning to my hat? Dude, all I have is hats and a beard, man. That's it. Although Kata did have to change his smoke detector battery a few weeks ago. Hey, did you ever get that figured out? Oh, Alyssa Mercante doesn't come to my channel, don't worry. Dude, she blocked me on Twitter back in March or April of last year and never unblocked me. She never, ever, like... And the thing is, I don't go out of my way to pester these people or provoke them. I'll cover them. I'll talk about them. No, Smeg, I'm not even kidding. I swear to God, I'm not even kidding. He put it on Twitter that he was going to the hardware store or whatever to buy a battery for his smoke detector or something. I'm not even making that shit up, okay? That was all him. Oh, yeah. Well, Mari, friend of the channel, she's in the chat here. She covered Assassin's Creed Shadows and got some hate. And Mari doesn't generally get too much hate. She's a really sweet girl. So this is unfortunate, but it does happen. Look, the more visible your videos are, the more you're going to get backlash. So unfortunately, it's you know, you have to take you're good with your bad. It's just that simple. Yeah, she is a Cancer. Well, I mean, she thinks she's going to be a full-time Twitch streamer or something now, right? Yeah, we're gonna play the self-report. So there's two clips of it. We actually got let me see here. This one right here that was put together by, I think, this guy, Dermy Wormy on Twitter. And then, of course, we've got Smash JT's video, which we're going to watch in a second. So the first clip where Smash says, it sure would be a shame if Ron Coleman, and of course, Ron Coleman is representing Smash JT in the lawsuit that was filed by Alyssa Mercante. This is the minute and 13-second clip we're going to listen to right here. Let me unmute this.
For like obsessing over it, and then that's when it kind of spun out that people were saying I was a former stripper and all these like horrific things that had been getting spread.
Hey.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. Who cares? You know,
it's more that like,
what is wrong with these fuckers? Why can't you be a stripper? Why can't you be a sex worker?
I was never. I think it's just again, the demonization of sex work is a huge issue.
It is.
I know horrible. Sex workers. I'm friends with sex workers.
Yep.
As people know,
I've gone to sex workers.
Okay, hold up right there. Video's harsh. Yeah. I like the self-report there by David Jaffe, where he's like, I've gone to sex workers. And then, of course, people criticized him over it, and he said, I'm confused. Are we against sex work now? Yes. I thought you guys were the gamer types who want big bazongas and effing and all that stuff in your games. First off, he's generalizing. I am okay with very sexual, sensual or sexualized characters. I don't personally want excessive nudity and sex in my games. I don't appreciate sex in games or movies. I just don't. For me, I'd rather have a good story that didn't need that filler to make it, seem better or whatever. But if it's there, it's there. I can't control that, right? But he's just generalizing here. And this is funny coming from the guy who created God of War, which again, the first couple of games had the mini game with like the girls that you're sleeping with or whatever. So I don't understand what he's talking about. So it's cool in games, but not in real life. The F are you guys on about? Please seek therapy. It's a great process and will help. Basically, this man, and I pointed out here, I'm like, yo, David, we also kill people in video games, but not in real life. See how that works? The self-report and the deflection from this man is something really, truly to behold. Okay, so we'll go ahead and play the rest of this clip here real quick. Because again, she does that. She also self-reports right here.
I've gone to strip clubs. I've gone to plenty of strip clubs. I've thrown bands at strip clubs. I am a huge proponent of that. I also believe that, like, as a woman, men are making money off of you anyway, or they're trying to.
Oh, Jaffe is 100% like the full-blown gooner. Hey, JKS, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. You love Hooters? I've never actually gone. I talked about going many, many times, but for me personally, it's like at this point, I'm not going to Hooters. I mean, if I went to Hooters, it'd be funny if like I went there with my wife, because she'd probably be like making me feel uncomfortable the entire time. She probably wouldn't even care. But you thought the statistic was that therapy tends to make people worse. I'm not touching that, Oblivion. I'm not going to give any advice on therapy or how I feel about medication or the pharmaceutical industry or any of that shit. I'm not going there. Hey, Real Shadow. Why is everyone a degenerate in this space? I don't know. It just is. It just is what it is. Oh yeah, 100% victim card.
Ways to gawk at you anyway, and if you feel comfortable doing this, then do it. The issue that I had and have is that what I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping. What I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping. What I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping.
It was at this moment that she knew she fucked up.
I've said before, I'll say it again. I don't think Alyssa Mercante is actually trying to win her lawsuit. I don't. I do not believe, like from the bottom of my heart, I don't think she's trying to win a lawsuit. Here's the thing. If for whatever reason, she decided to sue somebody like me, right? And I've been very much like, I don't harass people. I don't go after people. I don't dox people. I don't reveal public information. I'm very good about all this stuff. So I have nobody could sue me for any of this crap, or they could try to, but it wouldn't go anywhere. It'd get thrown out. But if she did, I would not go on the internet admitting these kind of things that could be used against me in a court, right? Well, I mean, she was a digital stripper, Brown. That's the way it goes, man. Just curious if you were calling a right statistic. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, and Patriot, you said something, too, that I agree with. You can't get rid of prostitution. It's always going to exist, but it's something that we should have never sensationalized in society. The glamorization of prostitution is where it's basically led to where we are right now, where every girl hits, 18 and they don't have $10,000 in their bank account and they go, should I start an OnlyFans? It's created this pandemic, if you will, of girls who think that that's the get rich quick option. And believe it or not, I mean, OnlyFans, that's all a form of digital prostitution. Look, Alyssa Mercante saying it herself that she was a digital stripper, digital prostitution. It is the way it is, Oh, Jaffe, I'm sure he's a giant simp. Remember, the first thing that he noticed about Vera Dark when he was criticizing her was that she's pretty and has nice hair and whatever. So it's like, that's the first thing he notices. She's high as shit every time she does this. I mean, I can't imagine she goes through life sober, if we're being honest. Boy, did she screw that up. Bet Ron Coleman laughed his ass off. The thing is, Ron Coleman, I've never DM'd him. But he and I have interacted, loosely between like YouTube comments and Twitter chat. I don't think that he sees these kind of things and he's like, I've got her now. I think he just simply files it away, goes, okay, that's one more thing we're going to file away for later. And he knows that he's got everything stacked against Alyssa. He knows that there's no threat that she wins this lawsuit. Yeah, Mari, that's the thing. Unfortunately, in Western society, I feel like it has just become something where that's just because the expectation, these girls meet guys, and if the guy can't support them financially 100% from the get-go, because look, inflation's a real thing, the economy is a real thing, everybody's cost of living has gone up like ridiculously high. So a girl meets a guy, and even if she likes him, oh, well, he's still in college, he's got student loans, he's not making, $10,000 a week or a month, and so, oh, well, I can't be with him because he's just not going to be able to take care of me. So instead they become independent, and what do? They fall back into the world's oldest profession. Nowadays, you can do it digitally, but still, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. People pay you to keep your clothes on. I mean, that's not a bad tactic, I guess. You'd be better off to do it on Twitter and just be like, hey, every 1,000 posts or every 1,000 likes, I'll put one more piece of clothing back on. And eventually, you'll get enough followers to get subscriptions on there. So, hey, and then you don't have to, participate in OnlyFans. Making it socially acceptable and encouraging young women to join OnlyFans is unconscionable. It ruins people. Yeah. Well, not just that, Lord Shadow, but the amount that they're finding of exploitation of people, both young and old, is insane in that industry. Well, but see, Mario, unfortunately, a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people believe that wealth has to be like the man has to be providing from day one, like from the get-go, and that you can't build wealth together. And unfortunately, the red pill alpha male side of things also encourages that belief that basically women are only supposed to look pretty and that you should not have to worry about like relying on them financially, because you also need to be a guy that can go get any woman because you're an alpha, so you need to get a top tier woman. So it's just it's all divisive. None of it helps people actually form real bonds and have successful relationships, and it just creates this man versus woman dynamic, which we already have enough of, Runs power posts from other shows. I haven't caught him on very many live streams. I've seen him on frickin' that Park Place when they've done live streams or WDW Pro, but I have not caught him on an actual
do I need to be liked?
Live stream of his
Absolutely
own.
Not. Do I need to be liked?
Hey, Smeg with the 5
not.
gifted.
I like to be liked.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Enjoy being liked. I have to be liked.
A lot of women are out to lunch because they think that without doing anything that they're still worthy of a rich man. Well, we're going to get into that at the end of the stream. There's a kind of a feel-good, I don't know, woman moments segment we'll get into in a second. So let's get to Smash's video, because I have not watched it. I was going to start watching it earlier. I'm like, I'm just going to save this for the stream so we can kind of take it all in together. Let me get the mute off of here. Hang on, I think I got YouTube muted. Here we go. And of course, we just watched this part.
Destroyed her entire lawsuit against me by flippantly going on to a podcast live stream with David Jaffe and saying the most ludicrous, ridiculous things I could ever imagine.
No, but I asked her and I asked you, I said, let's take some dope before we start. And Alyssa correctly so is like, look, that sounds great, but I'm in the middle of a lawsuit and I probably shouldn't do that.
Alyssa thought going on this live stream with
I love that was their first thought. Okay, guys, and again, I've already said before, hey, Christos, appreciate it. And thanks again for the fives, Meg. I really appreciate you guys when you gift those. You guys are awesome. I was trying to gift earlier in Nure's stream and couldn't figure it out. I don't know if she doesn't have gifts set up or if it's just me being a boomer, but I couldn't figure that shit out. So I appreciate you guys. Mini cow ring in her nose, yes. Smash has t-shirts he sells with the nose ring mafia thing on it. It's a red flag. You know, we were talking about the Doom stuff with the square chin, even though I think that the woman in Doom looks fine, but there is pattern recognition. The nose ring mafia thing is very much a pattern recognition situation, much like what we've seen with a lot of the other patterns that have been injected into games and pop culture. The nose ring, it's a red flag, you know? And again, I'm okay with that because I've never even thought that nose rings in women were an attractive look. So for me personally, I'm like, screw it. If all the psychos have nose rings, so be it, whatever.
David Jaffe would be a good idea in order to get attention and maybe grow her brand and have people look at her once again for whatever reason. I don't know. I can't.
You know, Anvek, I follow both WDW Pro and Valiant, but I never seem to catch a live stream when Valiant is live. And I know it's crazy because he's always live, I feel like.
Make sense of a crazy person, in my humble opinion. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Alyssa Mercante thought it was going to be a good idea to go on David Jaffe's live stream and proceed to talk for hours on end about anything but the lawsuit, except for while they're talking, many of the things they discuss were directly related to said lawsuit.
What I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping.
And I gotta be honest, she's even dumber than I gave her credit for.
What does it represent in Japan? We put it on cows. My grandpa used to. I mean, so there's different ways you can do it. There's the ring in the middle, which absolutely looks like cows. There's the little stud on the side, which I just think, I don't know. Here's the way I feel about it. And we see this a lot. You see this a lot with women who are unhappy with their body, women who are unhappy with their weight or with their physical appearance or whatever, where they do something crazy and radical and drastic to their hair. Because that's the only thing that they really feel they have any power to control is to change how their hair looks, right? And so, let me see here. Oh, hang on a second. I forgot to respond to, oh my god. I got chastised on Rumble by this one guy. Alright, whatever, dude. Anyways, I feel like there's this thing that you get with women where they do the nose ring because there's not really much else that they feel they have the power to control about their physical appearance, and they do that to themselves and they tell themselves it looks good or that it's beautiful, and everyone else looks at it and goes, yeah, no, that just looks like a red flag to me. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that there are some people who actually enjoy it. Yeah, heavy tattoos. Now I am a sucker for tattoos. I have tattoos myself. I mean, guys, I can't criticize women that have tattoos. I've got tattoos all over my chest. Half my right arm is tattooed. My entire left arm is tattooed. So it's not that I don't have I have a problem with tattoos, but yes, there is very much. Well, how do I put this? I didn't get my first tattoo till I was 25. I spent a long time thinking about it. I couldn't afford them, and then I would get one a year up until like 2020 when I stopped. There are the women who get more tattoos than, you know, they have. It's one of those things where it's like, instead of fixing their mental problems or health problems, sure, they go and get tattoos. You know, it's unfortunate. It is what it is. And it's just like the nose ring. It's an indicator. Maybe wash it instead of coloring. I mean, yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, I'll never forgive the woke for killing the punk girl look. Let's see, that one makes me think of boogers. Yeah, I always worry about the boogers. They do make it obvious, that's for sure. Let me see, I think I missed a little bit of chat. You don't look like a poisonous creature, no barbs or brights. No, I had earrings for a while. For a long time, I had just like little black studs. And I thought about re-piercing my ears a dozen times. At this point, I'm 38. I don't know if it's too late to bother with re-piercing my ears or not. I'm not trying to go for some edgy goth punk look. I kind of miss them, not gonna lie. I had them for a long time. Only reason I got rid of my earrings about 6-7 years ago was I tried out for a volunteer fire department. And for the physical, it's like, well, part of the dress code is, no earrings. And so I got rid of them. I passed the physical, failed the interview. But yeah, no, I kind of vacillate on it. I've kind of back and forth about it. You don't criticize tats, you just wouldn't get one because removal of said tat gives you nightmares. Don't get something that you want to have removed. That's really that's what it comes down to, Yeah, easier identification for the nut jobs, Mara. It's how it works. The crazy ones.
Subscribe to me, like, and check
They
out
out themselves.
SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down not just the claims Alyssa made in this live stream with David Jaffe, but also comparing it to the actual lawsuit that she threw my way and how she completely contradicts her.
Jeff got censored. Show the tattoos, bro. Old F. Dude, I'm not going to take my shirt off on my stream, man. It's the wrong kind of... Go to Twitch if you want that kind of content.
Herself and makes this claim completely fall apart. In what I could only describe as a catastrophic misstep, Alyssa Mercante, the disgraced former gaming journalist out of the failing and sputtering Kotaku, just effectively derailed her entire legal case against me during a recent appearance on David Jaffe's YouTube channel. This was the ultimate facepalm moment from someone who continues to show signs of a clear and consistent mental illness.
He always looks constipated in his videos. Oh my gosh. Somebody else, I've seen people criticize Jeff for flapping his arms around. Now, I will give Smash a pass on that. It is funny watching him kind of flail about with the arms. I'm not gonna lie. And Smash, I love you, buddy. I know you probably are gonna see this at some point. Sometimes Smash will be in the chat, just kind of with I'm not gonna say troll, lurking or whatever. And yeah, it's one of those things that he is very I want to use the word flamboyant almost. I don't know if he'd agree with that word or not, but animated, and I think it's the Italian side because honestly, I'm only a quarter Sicilian, and a lot of times I have to talk with my hands. It's just an Italian thing. I think unfortunately, yeah, give him a pass. Not that kind of pass, man. Oh my god. Oh no, I used to have a Discord channel that had the actual, like, my tattoo pictures and stuff because I would get them once a year, but I'd have to go back and find them. Them and us Greeks always use our hands to speak. Hell, yeah, 100%.
Illness, in my humble opinion. Over the course of the live stream, Mercante made shocking admissions, including one that she had briefly worked as a cam girl, information that directly undermines the basis of her defamation claims. And for what? How did this appearance even benefit her at all? If anything, people were there to laugh at her. Her approach is beyond embarrassing. She's just not talented enough to make it in the realm of social media, and that's...
Two Mormons walk into a live stream. I feel like there's a punchline here. You're going to have to provide the punchline, Truth. I am not interesting enough and definitely not caffeinated enough. I've had like 3 cups of coffee today, and it's still not enough. You don't know what to do with your hands? Gesticulating is the term. Oh yeah, no, anytime I hear the word fabulous, I think of frickin' Jim Carrey on The Grinch. After he shaves the mayor's hair off, he's like, somebody looks fabulous. JT's like an anime character. Oh my god, I'm gonna tell him you said that at some point. I'll DM him later and let him know that. Used to be on a different channel called Are They Gay or Are They European? Oh my god, that's friggin' hilarious. The stripper bit explains why Jaffe was down to it. Yeah, that's the thing. The dude, honest to God, says, oh yeah, I've gone to sex workers. Like, you are like a 55, 60-year-old man. Why are you... And he's got kids, and it's like, come on, man. Just sad she attacked Smash JT? Well, I mean, to be fair, Smash has been one of these guys where he's been willing to go at it, and... Look, if you, like I said, I've never, other than getting blocked by her for criticizing her initially, like if I went harder at her, she might have gone after me. And then again, if it got me more views on YouTube or more subs, then I benefited, fine. But then you also have to take the risk with the reward. And I think Smash has been rewarded more in the long run, but there came with the risk. And the risk is what he's putting up with right now, which is why people are supporting the lawsuit, you know? Wasn't that a fake game show they had on Mad TV? I feel like it might have been, but honestly, I haven't watched Mad TV in years.
Okay, not everyone can. The problem is Alyssa doesn't seem to have anything else to fall back on except for getting mad at other people that can do it and are successful. And ironically, always seems to fall back to the money aspect of things,
Bring back
thinking that
shaming.
that's some sort of gotcha, where people apparently shouldn't be making money in social media unless it's her.
And that's something that I'm pitching a story because I don't want to do it on my Patreon because I don't want it to seem like it's a personal vendetta thing.
I love it. This entire woman's existence is all a personal vendetta. She used Kotaku as a personal vendetta. She's buddy-buddy with Sweet Baby Inc. She's been to Compulsion Games, who was working with Sweet Baby Inc. up in Montreal. She has gone after people individually in their DMs. She's gone and contacted Smash JT's wife, tried to get Dark to fight her. When other people volunteered to fight her, she refused. She wouldn't do it. She now has switched to Twitch. She has a YouTube channel. She's going on podcasts. She's doing the live streamer thing. And she's got her Patreon set up where she's, trying to get money for her memberships because she's writing articles on Patreon now instead of Kotaku because she got her ass fired, which then she blames Smash JT for. But she wants to do a piece on how much money people are making in super chats with their hateful content. But she doesn't want it to seem like a personal vendetta. Does any of that part of that not seem like it's a personal vendetta? I mean, to be honest. Look, if I look into something or somebody and it's more than just like where I cover one person one time. For example, when I had that privacy complaint from Danny Pena and his wife on the YouTube channel or YouTube video where I covered their DEI consulting company, the privacy complaint just went away. I never heard anything more about it. I didn't go after them. It wasn't a personal vendetta. It was I was covering them. They were public-facing people. They had a public website, and I found out that they had a DEI consulting company. Bam, done. Walked away. If I continued to go after them after the privacy complaint, and every stream it was me digging through any dirt I could find, that's a personal vendetta. Alyssa's entire existence right now is a personal vendetta. Okay? Oh, yeah. Full goon look. She's just jealous. It's 100% jealousy. Is absolutely, that's completely what it is.
About about the actual financials behind this, because these people are making a lot of money off of this. And like I said, how much money they raised for the Real Game Awards versus how much that production must have cost them, how much money Mark Kern has raised for a game that we don't know when it's going to come out, how much money these people make in super chats every night, which a lot of the cases.
All right, Patriot, get some rest, buddy. She's running on Spite 100%. Dude, that's the thing, Truth, that I don't understand. Is how somebody who, and again, we were talking earlier in the stream, I hate the word based. I hate throwing the word based around there because it's just like woke. It's starting to lose meaning at this point. So many words have been misused and bastardized to the point where, unless you know the context in which they're said, nobody knows the meaning of them anymore. But, I mean, the game was just, again, like I've talked about, a game made for gamers. It was made for a certain audience, and you either liked it or didn't like it, and it resonated with a large percentage of the audience. That's why there's so many freaking God of War games. How this sad sack of humanity is the one that came up with it or created it, I don't know. It's absolutely crazy. No attention's bad for a narcissist, 100%.
The things that are said in those super chats are horrific.
The LOL suit, as many people have been calling it, centers around how Alyssa Mercante seems to think that she was somehow defamed by being referred to as a cam girl, or her own words initially, mind you.
I want to know where you got that photo. If she willingly put that on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever, I got no words. Like, honest to God, I
am smart, hot, slutty.
And now it seems like it's on the verge of collapse.
Based and woke being misused. Yeah, dude, honestly, I know that there's a few people who are all, part of the anti-DEI, anti-woke group here on YouTube, if you will. I hate to say group because a lot of us think very differently, but we all have the same general mindset about, not injecting ideologies into video games and content and letting good content exist without a political agenda behind it or some sort of like LGBT agenda or whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, I've watched a lot of movies in my time and I played games and stuff that you could consider woke by today's standards, but at the end of the day, they were really good movies, really good video games, and that's all there was to it. Unfortunately, now most of what you're going to get, people don't know how to write, they don't know how to actually produce good content, and so everything comes with a very heavy-handed agenda. So, just like that, though, any game, like if it's take the whole Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 thing. Take away the controversy about them lying about it being banned in Saudi Arabia. Take away the fact that he was straight in the first game, and it's an RPG, and you typically can have gay or straight romances in an RPG. And then the strong comments from the developer about no black people in Bohemia, and then there's that one black person in the second game, even though they pretty well explain why he's there. If those games were disconnected from the drama, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is no different than any other RPG that's existed for the last 25 years. In fact, it's just like them, and in some ways it's probably like better than most other RPGs that have ever come before it. But because we are now looking through everything through more of a lens where we see every little bit of progressivism or wokeism or whatever it is, we definitely are finding it in places, even if it's there or it's subtle or it's not there at all, we're still seeing it in places where we might not have looked at it differently before, because back in the day, it was more naturally injected. It wasn't this overarching agenda that we've seen, where basically it's like, well, we can't have straight white men anymore because they're oppressors and we have to get rid of them. Yeah, and Brown, that's the thing. It's like, I have no problem with people saying, I don't want to play gay characters or have gay content in my game. I agree. I don't want to play a bunch of gay stuff either. But that's not because it's woke. It's because I don't want to play as a gay character. Woke is a conversation of, again, structural racism and oppressor and versus oppressed, the oppressed and everything else based on either racial or financial lines. It has nothing to do with whether or not there's a gay character in the game. The pushing gay characters into games is a woke agenda. But that's, again, like you said, the intent. So, back in the day, we're getting boiled like a frog. That doesn't make it better. But Black Cat, it wasn't being boiled like a frog. Maybe the people pushing modern DEI, pushing more of the woke messaging, saw that it was there and so they could exploit it. Sure. But that doesn't make a game like Fable, which came out, over 20 years ago, woke because it had one guy in a town where you could romance him. So I'm not going to argue that they didn't definitely take advantage of it, exploit it 100%. This is where we are now. And see, Real Shadow, the thing is, like I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm old enough to remember games that were, prior to all this, conversation about DEI and wokeism and everything else, where I can kind of compartmentalize and say Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 feels more like what we would have had from an RPG 20 years ago, all the drama aside. And I have called the developers out rightfully. I'm sure Daniel Viver's going to ban me at some point, even though I've been very civil with him, because I called them out on lying about the whole Saudi Arabia thing. I did that in my article talking about him. But at the end of the day, it's like I can look back and say, yes, it sucks that we're seeing this. It could be connected to the DEI initiatives. It could be connected to the Embracer money, the ESG money. Or I could just say it also seems like it's just a RPG in the same style as a game from 20 years ago. Looking at it from two sides. Who knows? Gay fixes everything. I don't know about that. Yes, Christopher, people have grown tired. That is 100% true. And again, like I've said, pattern recognition, Called me a grifter. Add another word to the misused column. Oh, yeah. And another misused word. Hey, Hakami. We were just talking about Saudi Arabia. More like RPGs from 10 years ago that were practically prototypes for the crap the Velguard we get now. Right. Yeah, it wasn't the games from 20, 25 years ago. It's been more in the last 10 years. It goes back to more of like the Gamergate 1 era of games. Yeah, Wild. That's how I feel about it. And like I said, we can all agree to disagree about what makes something woke, but I think we need to actually understand if you want to call it gay, because that makes sense. A gay game is gay. Life is Strange. Double Exposure is a gay game. It's clearly a gay game, right? It's also woke because of the way that they handle the content in the game. But these two things can exist at the same time. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 looks like it might be a fun game. You plan to get it despite the controversy. Lord Shadow, I'm going to be playing it. I'm going to be streaming it. Obviously not like every day and not like for 8 to 10 hours a day because I have to work and I have kids here. So I wish that I could actually just play it, for a 12-hour stream so we could get through it and see what is actually the big fuss about. But, it is what it is. Pretend they don't is not based, it's the way. I mean, yeah, and so just because, here's the thing. You can make a game and not include gay people, and I don't think that that's bigoted. Because I probably wouldn't include gay people in my game either. But that doesn't mean that somebody else putting a gay character in their game is also woke. So, double exposure was a cash grab, 100%. All right.
Again, due to her own words, again.
What I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping. What I did, because
this is like the fourth time we've seen this slowed down.
Say, and told me to make sure we save this because, in my humble opinion, this is something that completely destroys her case. The moment unfolded with almost comedic inevitability as Mercante was passionately defending the legitimacy sex work, stating that's when people were saying I was a former stripper and all these horrific things that were being...
Well, Veilguard was so heavy-handed with it. Here's the thing. All I have is the video clips that I've seen shared on Twitter and shared on YouTube from Veilguard, from the cringe characters and all the lecturing they did. But I think the main character that caused the issues in Veilguard was Tosh, because Tosh was the character that they used to lecture every other character. Think about it. The scene with the one chick doing the push-ups, pulling a barv, that was because of Tosh, because she misgendered Tosh, right? Tosh is the one that has, where she's growling in the character's ear, or your playable character, where she sits down with her mom and she's like, so I'm non-binary. Tosh was the vehicle that they used to carry all of that crap in Veilguard. So Veilguard wasn't just, well, we have a gay character, we have this other character who's a little bit different. No, they had that, this is the character we're going to use to beat you over the head and lecture you with it, I am doing cam work right now. Let's see. What modern RPG can you not be gay in that also clearly delineates males and females? Ooh. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's a very strange thing. I've noticed that, kind of a side tangent, we've talked about this before. People kind of let Elden Ring off the hook, but Elden Ring, although they didn't include like the pronoun nonsense, they also were one of those games that did the whole body type A, body type B thing too. So it feels really funny that we make exceptions for certain games, again, perceived based, right? It's perceived to be based. Tasha is worse than most people know. Kunari were initially made to be unironically closeted and bigoted, stuck in their ways. Well, I mean, H. Brown, they made the Kunari suck in the last... I can't remember if it was the last game that they kind of made them shitty, or if it was just basically what they did with them in Veilguard. Because I played through all the Dragon Age games up to Veilguard one time each, and I remember that I feel like the Kunari weren't as cool after the first couple games. Yeah, their humiliation ritual for all the chuds, yeah. Yeah, and Vic, I feel like he doesn't want to look at her. No, Mari, they're being sarcastic.
Spread. But then David Jaffe was like, well, it's not horrific to be a stripper. There's nothing wrong with that. And Alyssa was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I'm an advocate for that. There is nothing wrong with that. See, Alyssa was trying to make it sound like it was a bad thing at first, to David Jaffe saying, no, it's not. And she's like, yeah, you're right. No, it's not. I'm on their side. And then she proceeds to completely destroy her case.
Obsessing over it. And then that's when it kind of spun out that people were saying I was a former stripper and all these like horrific things that had been getting spread.
Hey, I got no problem with that. Who cares?
It's more that
what is wrong with these fuckers? Why can't you be a stripper?
See, H. Brown, Blu-ray. I remember. I remember there's a lot of controversy, a lot of different opinions about which game ruined the series prior to Veilguard, and I just remembered liking all of them. Like I said, I played through each of the games one time. I didn't buy the DLC, and so for me, I didn't notice any like serious drop off in quality from game to game. But I didn't go back and play them after playing them one time, my one playthrough, so I just don't know. It's like the moving of the Overton window with egregious games like Veilguard. Oh no, see, Dezo, I agree with you there. I get it. I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. But what I look at is, it's one thing to go back 20, 25 years in a game where it's like you might have one gay romance option or one gay character, and it's just there and that's it, and there's no agenda to be pushed behind it. Versus games that are, quote, less woke, but still woke. And I agree with you that there are less egregious examples, games that do it, where people talk about woke games, but they do it better, in a less cringy way, right? And see, they've got Black Cat saying everything after Origins was cancer. There you go. Let me see here. Where did all the gay trans people come from? Well, now that what we call that is an agenda, and that's what we're dealing with now. Has some good stuff, but some awful personality. The combat was terrible. I don't remember enough. I'd have to go back and play each of them for myself, and I don't have that kind of time. The closer I get to 40, the more I realize I just don't have time to go back and play every game.
Why can't you be a sex worker?
I was never. I think it's just. Again, the demonization of sex work is a huge issue.
It is.
I
It's
know
horrible.
sex workers.
I feel like
I'm friends
David
with
wants
sex
her to go back to
workers,
sex work.
as people know.
I've gone to sex workers.
I've gone to strip clubs. I've gone to plenty of strip clubs. I've
Yeah.
thrown bands at strip clubs. I am a huge proponent of that. I also believe that, like, as a woman, men are making money off of you anyway, or they're trying to look for ways
Absolutely.
to gawk at you anyway. And if you feel
What does that mean? As a woman, men are making money off of you. How does that work? Is she talking about because the YouTubers are criticizing her? I'm so confused. As long as we don't touch knees. What does that mean? I'm so confused. Alyssa's very beautiful. I like her pretty smile, but not character or smug behavior. Yeah. I think Alyssa looks fine. Nobody, I mean, look, if she was just a normal person that didn't go off on like unhinged attacks on people and try to like write smear pieces about them, people would just kind of like, she'd just be a normal woman that people just probably didn't think much of, you know? It's unfortunate, but she's made herself this person. She's put herself in this situation, and she can't play the victim because there's nobody that she has to blame but herself, to be honest. I can't believe that David is saying this. The funny thing is, like I said, it's a self-report. I think David wants her to go back to being a cam girl. So many delusions. Yeah, I mean, Oblivion, I think that she's... Without all, like, okay, the makeup's a bit much. If you go back to pictures of her prior to working at Kotaku, prior to cutting all her hair off, prior to going like hardcore lefty, or at least publicly a hardcore lefty, she was a nice looking woman. I wouldn't necessarily say that she was like some drop dead gorgeous woman, but she was a perfectly nice, like maybe I'm just in a mood to be generous about appearances and looks. I don't think that she would have been as unattractive or cringe had she never gotten so insane, you know? You can't watch Jaffe and Alyssa for too long. No worries. We're eventually just going to call it on this video and move on, I think. He wants to pay. That's 100% what it is, Christos. And she implies being a gold digger is fine as a woman, right?
comfortable doing this, then do it. The issue that I had and have is that what I did, because I did briefly do cam work, just like digitally stripping. What I did, because I did briefly
this live stream. In her case, the reality is there is no case. It's as empty as the brains of some of these folks out there. And if Mercante continues this frivolous case against me, she will continue to be reminded why she is in the wrong every step of the way.
Well, to be fair,
keep saying
I don't think there's any more of this with Review Tech USA. And I don't know that there's, other than him going through like all the details of everything she said, I feel like we're kind of repeating a bit, and it's only 6 minutes and 37 seconds in, so maybe we should move on. She looked less stressed back then, but the crazy eyes are still there. Yeah, I mean, the crazy eyes, that's genetic. I've known people, I've been related to people through marriage who have the crazy eyes, who get that look in their eyes, and there's just nothing you can do about it. The dude owns a strip club, you think? I don't know, I'd have to verify that. That's crazy. Not hideous, wouldn't call her beautiful. Okay, there you go. She could look decently cute if she wanted, but you think it's mainly her character that's off-putting? Yeah, I mean, that's how... Look, but that's to give Alyssa credit, to give human beings credit, you know? Half of, or at least a significant portion of what people find attractive about you, first, it's your appearance, right? You see with the eyes first. But then you get to know somebody, you can kind of get their vibe and their personality. And if that person has a very off-putting personality, that's going to shine through. Even if they're the most attractive person on the planet, if they have a very off-putting personality, that's going to be something you just can't deal with, right? If she was based, oh God, we're using the word based still. Yeah, she wants attention. That's 100% all it is. But what's crazy is that this is attention seeking that's going to cost her a lot of money, because she is going... Like, look, she filed an actual lawsuit against him. It's not just that, you know, she's threatening a lawsuit, that she is claiming, oh, I'm being harassed, I'm going to file a lawsuit. No, she filed a freaking lawsuit against him. That's the craziest thing. And yet, to what end? You know, she's tanking it right now. That forehead balding is off-putting. How dare you, Blu-ray? Do you mean like if I go bald, you're not going to find me as attractive? I'm really hurt right now. Not going to lie. That hurts. All right, so long and the short of it, I don't think there's too much that we need to subject ourselves to at this point. I think we kind of get the idea. David Jaffe's a simp. Alyssa Mercante's insane. Her lawsuit's never going to go anywhere. At this point, she has basically done more damage than anybody else could have possibly done. If the judge doesn't just throw it out, you know, on its ass when it comes to him, I can't imagine that there's any way that this proceeds. So, let's see. Oh, let me scroll down the chat. Hang on a second. On minute, sexy, no homo. You can't say that without homo, man. Oh, man. Absolutely massive attention. Yeah. All right, so moving on. We actually have an article from Smash AT. Have you guys heard about all this stuff from Widow's Peaks are in demand nowadays? Okay, well, I've said before, because I've still got a little bit of like the ability to grow hairs here, and I'm not bald in the back. So maybe I can just grow it out and comb it over, or worst case scenario, I'll just shave it all off. I don't know. Dude, Review Tech is an interesting situation. Review Tech USA to me. I only learned of him back when I still watched The Quartering, because he and him had beef at one point. Now, to be fair, The Quartering, he has to start beef with everybody at some point on the internet because that's just kind of his thing. He is always in some Twitter battle with some other YouTuber or whatever. So I didn't know anything about Review Tech USA. And the further I went down that rabbit hole, I'm like, okay, I don't want to know anything about Review Tech USA. Take some DHEA. DHEA. Do I even want to know what that is? The Return It dev. There we go. I'll just shave the head. We'll go completely bald. Just shave it all down. But we had the Real Game Awards. And I honestly, so I was not going to pay to be a voting member. I did watch the live stream, and it seemed fine. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to Side Scrollers Podcast, but they put on their own Game Awards. And it was, I would say, at least on par with other Game Awards shows. They decided to, do categories for different types of things that the Game Awards doesn't have. And of course, they featured some indie titles, which pissed off a few of the developers, because these people were like, you didn't ask us if you could use our game. And it's like, well, this was just a YouTube channel. It wasn't like some official organization or anything, but whatever. Go bald, be a man. Like, this topic is a weird one. Yeah, I mean, I think I'll figure it out. Either I'll go bald or I won't. Nature will take its course on that one. But this person here, who apparently won Best Racing Game. Now, I was in the shower. I had the YouTube live stream going. I heard Camelot give away the award for Best Racing Game because Camelot, the YouTuber, he's now a NASCAR racer, right? I didn't care. I'm not big into racing games. I guess this game won the award. I'm not sure what the name of the game is. Let me see here. It is Nightmare Kart is the one that won the award. The person has BLM, ACAB, trans flag, and Palestinian flag in their bio. This is apparently the developer for the game, right? Yeah, they got pissed because the wrong people like the game. What is with that, dude? What is with that where they always get pissed off that the wrong people like their stuff? It happens too, like whenever they try to like make a meme or something, and then of course, prime example. This video here. Let me see if I can boot it up. Let me see if it'll actually work.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating.
So you guys remember that video? The eating the dogs, eating the cats with Hassan Piker. A left-wing socialist guy made the video. And then people loved it so much that like right-wingers were spreading it, sharing it, enjoying the meme. And they got so pissed off that the original creator of it deleted the video. Because he was like, oh no, I don't want you guys enjoying it. I made this to make fun of you. You can't enjoy this, right? So anytime these people find out that somebody else enjoys something that they made and they don't have the right political ideologies, they freak out. Yeah, Sulaco is the other one. dude, I was gonna make a video about Sulaco because it's like these people are completely insane. Can you imagine being an indie developer? An indie developer, you make a game and you hope it does well, and you know that the indie video game scene is never going to be what AAA is, right? But you still want to make money at it because that's probably your dream, is to be a game developer, even if you're never going to be a AAA game developer, whatever. And then you find out that a anti-woke, as they call it, award show. Now, I watched the award show. I had it on. There was nothing anti-woke in the award show. That's just how they've labeled it, right? Again, using words that don't have any meaning. Oh, thanks, Meg. Appreciate it. I have to reset it every 30 minutes because it's just my actual camera. I need to get a streaming camera at some point this year. I need to stop being cheap. But I have to reset it every 30 seconds. Otherwise, it's just... Yeah, it's like the Asmongold mouthwashing situation. Yeah. So this person here, PSX Bunlith, who is the developer, says, so honored to have won the coveted Anti-Woke Game Awards Best Racing Game category. As a trans woman, it's so comforting to see them prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion. To celebrate, I'm going to have gay with my F-slur transgender dog girl. You guys can read that for yourself. I don't understand what's wrong with people. So Stuttering Craig responds and said, congrats, you'll notice that literally no one cared that you're trans. Literally no one. The audience cared that you made a good game. That's all people want. Our show's not anti-woke. It's simply meant to be an alternative to the Access Media and industry show. Enjoy your gay sex. Oh, man. They pick 3 indie games and 2 of them have weird woke devs. Sad state of affairs. It's so common in game dev. But here's the thing. It's not common, I would say, in a lot of the indie stuff. There's a lot of indie developers out there who, look, I've got my business email, if you want to call it that, attached to my YouTube channel, right? Not just from like websites like Keymailer, where they've sent me keys for indie games and stuff, but through people who have actually had their community managers and stuff email me saying, hey, do you want to check this game out? Do you want to play it on your channel? A lot of indie developers. All it takes is 5 seconds to look at my content and go, oh, we don't want this guy covering our game, right? So I don't think it's most when it comes to indie. I just find it like it's a really strange irony, like that somehow 2 out of 3. So one of them was Sulaco, which they featured a trailer of, I believe. And then Nightmare Kart won the award for Best Racing. So one of the 3 indie games that they gave a shout out to a trailer, reveal on, and the other one was one that won an award. Two of them ended up being complete loser freaks, right? Keep the camera. I could just like shrink down the camera. Here we go. We're gonna go absolutely minimal size. Now we are truly minimal effort right there. You need some mouthwash for your eyes now? Yeah, I think we all kind of do, right? Yeah, but again, I think it's just common in the video game industry, unfortunately, as a whole. I don't know if it matters if it's AAA or indie. There's just, unfortunately, a lot of weirdos, a lot of freaks have decided that this is just the industry they want to get into. How dare you grow my potential customer base? Rescind that credibility forthwith, or hence we shall bucker our cringe for a gimp. Oh my god. Well, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay. For example, we all know the Game Awards sucks. We all know that it's a corporate shill piece of crap award show that nobody really cares about because all they do is they give their buddies awards and they don't really care about what gamers like. But if you were a developer, an indie developer, and all of a sudden some Game Awards show that you don't necessarily agree with decided to come out and say, we want to feature your game, or they featured your game and it surprised you, wouldn't you be excited by it?
It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
I like when they promoted their games. We were giving them reverse psychology. These weirdos are exposing themselves. We love their work, but they have to push their agenda. Never mentioned anti-woke.
100% Lugia, and I appreciate the 10, man. You're really awesome. I can't thank you enough. Yeah, so Oblivion was commenting that I mentioned Kilted Cajun in my last video. I've actually been following him on Twitter now for about a week. Started watching his content on YouTube. Yeah, Kilted Cajun, I like a lot of his takes. And he covered them. He covered the whole Sulaco situation, or he was going to. He tweeted about it, and he's like, what I don't understand is why guys like you attack people like us who just want to play video games, because then you just literally give me content to make a video about telling people not to play your game, which should be counterintuitive to what you really want people to do. So why do you do this? What is the compelling, like, the driving factor behind why you go after people needlessly? There's absolutely no logic to it. Just look at the GLAAD Game Award, all the red flag. Hey, GLAAD, didn't they give Nintendo the Trans Representation Award for their little witch character that they have in Paper Mario? I was telling my kids, apparently, God, who is it? Birdo, that I guess they were also saying was always trans. My kids were dying laughing when I told them that. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that a while back they said that Birdo was trans. I don't know. I don't understand. I feel like my entire childhood was a lie. Their viewers went and played, or yeah, well, okay, so let me see here. Let me pull this up. Let me go and find Sulaco Steam charts. All right, so, oh, that's bad. Sulaco had a peak of, hang on, where did it go? All right, they had an all-time peak 7 months ago. I assume that's when they released. 1,528 players. Not bad for an indie game. Really not bad at all. Last 24 hours, they've had a 79-player peak, only 28 players right now. Now, you see that there was a little increase in interest over the last few days. I'm not going to say that that was the real Game Awards, but it very likely could have been. And imagine if that had actually turned into positive press. This 116 could have been more like 200 players, or someone like me. I would have picked it up and said, okay, well, I do indie streams on Wednesdays. We try to promote indie games. Maybe I'll pick up a copy of this game. Well, now instead, I'm not going to touch the game. I refuse to. Why the hell would I? Vivian, the little Japanese daughter boy, they're saying is trans. Birdo, the cross-dressing egg spitter, they're saying is trans. Yeah, that's what it was. You thought Birdo was a boy? I didn't know what Birdo was. It's Vivian? Okay, yeah. Their priorities are reversed, 100%. Let me see. You thought Birdo was a boy. It said so in the instruction manual. Yes, but this is we're in revisionist history now. So what you thought was a boy back then turns out was a confused boy. Trans Nintendo character was not trans. It was localizers who made the character trans. Well, Nightcore, we you know that and I know that. The problem is the localizers are the ones who have the ultimate control and say, because they're the ones who are the ones translating it for the modern audience, for the ones who are getting the translations here, you know? They already booked the merch. Yeah. So this is just one of these things. Person spurged out, blocked him. Actually, I went ahead and looked. They even, let me see here. The person, this weird furry trans thing, this PSX Bunlith, has now actually gone protected mode on Twitter. So they've completely locked down their account. Not only did they block Stutter and Craig, but they've also gone full scale like lockdown. You also see they've got people like this Sulaco guy. We have not paid for an advertisement for the Real Game Awards. I've never even heard of it until an hour ago. The more I'm looking into this, the more I want to distance myself. It's just pathetic, right? Look, it's one thing if you want to criticize Grums and you don't like Grums and you don't want him associated with your game. Fair enough. Okay, fine. If you want to criticize a particular YouTuber, fine. But this was just an award show. This was just an award show. And you have this person being like, oh no, we can't be associated with this. We have to distance ourselves from these people. It's absolutely insane. Vivian's originally a femboy, not trans. Well, so that's the problem, is like we talked about the localizers, they don't understand the difference between like the femboys and the trans stuff. They just don't get it. Daughter boy, yeah. Yeah, and was it Atako Noko? I think it's how you pronounce it. No, Grumps shared it afterwards. So if the person locked down their account, that's probably why. But Grumps wasn't involved in the Real Game Awards other than promoting it. So, I mean, maybe they don't like Stutter and Craig. Maybe they don't like side scrollers because they have a lot of controversial people on there. But the award show itself, if somebody came across the YouTube channel for the Game Awards or the Real Game Awards and watched it, I can't even imagine what they thought was so freaking offensive from it, right? You were Scattered V was in localization team. He's fluent in Japanese. His Japanese is very... I know that name. The Real Game Awards gave us real celebrities, AVGN, and the Halo composer. Yeah. No, gave us a lot more than what you get from the Game Awards. Dude, the freaking Game Awards had the guy that created the PlayStation walk up to the stage and freaking... What's-his-face left him hanging. Absolutely unreal. Actually, so Alton, the one who brought up the stuff to the Sulaco dev was that Wash Your Crack account. And I believe a lot of people assume that that is just Alyssa Mercante's alt account. I can't confirm that. I don't know. It seems to post a lot of stuff the way Alyssa would say it. So it's very likely an alt account of Alyssa Mercante's. But, yeah. No, it was basically like a few accounts were quote tweeting it and saying, oh, do you know who these people are? And just the usual crap that you encounter. Spoken words mean two different things in Japan. It's either just son or daughter boy with the context that matters. Well, context. I think we're missing a lot of context these days, unfortunately. Context makes a big difference in a lot of these conversations. So yeah, well now, unrelated. I'm not going to bother playing this because this is a pretty long video. Stutter and Craig came out, responded to it. Basically said, you know, we didn't contact these people because these were public trailers and we didn't think anything of it. So one of the guys who had his trailer shown was this trailer for Tribreaker. And the person that was the developer came out and said, thank you for including it in the show. And of course, that's just, you know, nice courtesy to say, hey, you guys gave us free publicity. We're going to say thank you, you know? Oh yeah, R2, it totally does. And she's interacted with that account for a long time. There were a few accounts early in last year when we had like the Gamergate 2 stuff kicking off that it was Airbag, Alyssa Mercante, the Wash Your Crack account, and a few others. That dude who ended up, that Tech Dad, Mech Dad, whatever he was, ended up leaving Twitter. Yeah, he was also one of the ones that would like retweet everything. They don't care if it's fair or successful. They care about social affiliation. Yeah, you cannot be associated with the wrong people. And that's the problem. And it's like, so I've looked at the drama the last couple of weeks between like the Gamergate stuff, the anti-woke stuff versus the everything is woke versus nothing is woke crowd on the anti-woke side of things. And it's reminded me why it's so important to have your own opinions and to not get saddled with like the wrong group of people where you're just like lumped in. And it's like, I have people who block me on Twitter who I know assume that I'm just a grifter and I'm just going to say whatever I think is popular. Well, contrary to that, I've gotten myself in a lot of trouble on YouTube because there's a lot of things I've said lately that don't agree with the mainstream narrative of the anti-woke movement. So I'm a very bad grifter if that's the case. But furthermore, it's like there are people within this movement that have fractured it to the point where people can't even agree or see straight on the same issue. And it's like, it's okay to have different opinions, but you can't just keep parroting the same narrative about everything. So discussions have to be made, right? There has to be time for discussion to be had and nuance, and things have to be taken at their own merit and their own value. And I think we're losing some of that, with, like I said earlier, with the labels that are being thrown around. To the point where now we can't even have like conversations or constructive criticism without people labeling things as gooners or, you know, softcore porn, like First Lieutenant was labeled and stuff. Yeah, the other complaint was the $30 voting thing, which... So here's my take on it, on the entire situation. I know Smash had previously criticized back in April or May. He had criticized Stuttering Craig for what he was trying to do. And he then made up with Craig, and then he gave Craig $1,300 for the show. Okay, that's Smash's money. He can spend it however he wants to, and if Stuttering Craig and Side-Scrollers used it effectively, fine. I don't know where all the money went. I don't know that there's any way to find out, because it's not like some charity, you know, 501c or whatever. So at the end of the day, if you feel like the voting members got their money's worth out of the show, then I don't know who's going to complain about it. Do I think that however much money they raised made the awards show like worth the amount that was spent? I don't know what the amount that was raised total was, so I have no idea. I was a little surprised that it was just a YouTube show. I thought they were going to do like maybe get a room somewhere, do like a backdrop, or I don't know. But again, it's hard to set these things up, right? I've always thought the WYC account is an alt of Alyssa since she made you watch your crack jokes a lot. But that's exactly it, Wild. I think that's honestly a big part of it. Stacy the Ghost, she has me blocked on Twitter. Queef has me blocked. Khalif Adams does not. Khalif Adams likes the attention. Mighty Queef, he blocked me a long time ago. McDizzle, is it McDizzle? The funny thing with McDizzle is he hangs out with a lot of people that are more centrist, but all he does is spend his days complaining about Grumps. Which I get it. Look, the whole Grums Ember situation with the Kickstarter and stuff, a lot of that's really shady. And this is why, like, I don't try to align myself with one person and, like, saddle myself, oh, no, we're going to be ride or die. It's like, no, I've got people that I feel comfortable being associated with, but I don't want to be, like, lumped in with anybody because I've always done my own thing. But there are definitely people like McDizzle who I think obsesses about Grums 24/7. Oh, well, then it's reinvested for next year's show. There you go. So if they're doing a live event next year, there you go. That's perfect. That's awesome. Supposed to be live at a venue that Craig is trying to nail down in the Houston. Dude, that would be sick. That would be really cool. And I liked the video. I thought that the live stream was really good. I just was hoping for something more. And if we're going to get something more, then that's awesome. Oh yeah, Mari, I get blocked all the time. Even like maybe it's something I say because sometimes I like to be a little edgy. I don't know.
Someone how much you care.
to
It
stop
is like
you
this
from
tangible
grifting.
thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
Here's some money to stop you from grifting. That's how this works, right?
No, but Smegs, thanks for the 10, dude. Appreciate you. No, but it does crack me up when people super chat just to like attack people. Like if somebody comes in someone's channel and they just want to harass them and they super chat, it's like, dude, you could super chat me all day long and say the worst things about me. At the end of the day, I won't care because you're still giving your money to somebody. It's like, and if you truly hate somebody, why would you give them your money? That doesn't even make any sense. Feel like the video is good, but it didn't cost 25 grand. Okay, R2, so I'm on board with you there. So if that money gets put towards an event next year, that would be really cool. And I would love to see a lot of those people that have contributed to it or a lot of the same personalities. Here's the thing though, I'm not a big meetup guy. I know people who do like, oh, we're going to do the Vegas meetup. And it's like, I don't know that I would ever do anything like that. And it's not like it's not because I don't like people. Okay, so scratch that. There's one circumstance where I would do a meetup with people. You guys all know Donut Operator and Brandon Herrera, AK Guy. They do like once a year. They do like a creator outdoor shooting range thing, right? Where they just have guns and ammo everywhere, and they just take all these YouTubers and they just have them all out there shooting. I 100% would go to that in a heartbeat. If I ever got an invite to that, I would figure out a way to clear my schedule to fly over to Texas and do that. But other than that, like the whole meetup thing, I don't know. I feel like those things are kind of strange. Yeah, R2, it's just, I mean, the thing about it too is so many people are different in real life than they are online. My son's discovering this because he's been texting his cousin now that my kid has a phone for like communicating with, when we're out and about, and that way we don't lose track of him and stuff. So he's been texting his older cousin. And so him and his cousin are just like joking around, giving each other crap, all this stuff, talking sports and all that. And then he's like, yeah, it was really weird when I saw him, in person, we just didn't really talk that much. I'm like, welcome to the world of texting, You send supers to troll Kata, but it's more in good fun. Oh yeah, no, I mean, that's different. I'm talking about people who legitimately go into someone's chat. Like, okay, for example, I'm sure you saw this on Black Street when they had Eric July on there, and they had people super chatting because they hated Eric July, right? Only meet up with armed fans. Yeah, there you go. Give enough money, not only would the event be live and bigger, he'd be happy to have. And see, that's awesome, Wild. Never meet your heroes. That is so true. Exactly. Let me see. It's not low quality. Mari, you put a lot more work into your videos than I do. You do more like what I originally set out to do years ago with the amount of editing and scripting and everything else, and I just don't have time for that anymore. Yeah, Atreus is fun. I like the man. He's got swag. The man's hats are just freaking fantastic. Speaking of the Game Awards, Stuttering Craig, never meeting your heroes, this is something that I found interesting. So I made a comment about how they were trolling Eric July at New Blackstreet's chat, right? Earlier, I think it was a couple days ago, and they had Eric July on. Well, same thing happened to Razor Fist on Side Scrollers. I don't know if you guys are aware of any of this, but it's come out with this whole Gamergate stuff with Razor Fist criticizing everybody for, you know, playing the quote-unquote porn games, right? Even though they're not. He came out and defended Melanie Mac, and he was on Side Scrollers recently. He's been kind of like a regular returning person on there, and I generally have liked Razor Fist. I've enjoyed his content for a long time, but found out a lot about like some of the allegations from his past, if you will. And I'm not saying that it's all legitimate. Some of it comes from 4chan, who knows? But he's been trolled very heavily for a lot of it. And so I'm going to play a couple of clips from when he was on Side Scrollers. Very, very strange situation there. So this one's from Fratanga, says, Razorfist says First Descendant is dead, and it only introduced sexy outfits later on to save the game, which again, anybody who's been playing since the beginning of the game knows that's not true. The game hasn't changed to try to like chase a player base. Now, I will say the game is dead because the game just isn't that good, but it's been the same from the very beginning.
Great. Stace Gibbons says, for Goonergate topic, part one, the whole thing seems very Puritan and censorious. And how is this different from the woke pushing their ideology on people who want to play what they want to play?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's on every Tuesday. Okay. Takes too long to script. Oh, okay, I feel you. Hey, Desert, how's it going? You tend to forget the hate chatters. College LAN party could order so much pizza with how much they waste. No kidding, dude. Yeah, and Anvek, I'm not just talking about like the video. Like I've said, I don't fault anybody for having a past online. The internet's back in the days. Like I assume I'm somewhere around Razorfist's age. I'm 38. He's got to be pushing 40 also. Back growing up as a kid with the internet, without parents around, good, you know, God knows the things that most people got into and shit. We saw way too much and did things online we never should have done. But it's the other stuff with like the alleged person that he started dating when she was under 16, and then of course like the controlling weird stuff, and I don't know. So there's just a lot of weirdness around there, right? On Side Scrollers. No, Oblivion. And I crack up every one time. Look, Craig has DM'd me before. Hypnotic follows me on Twitter. Like all these guys, I communicate with all these people, but I don't go begging to be on people's shows. And it always cracks me up when people are like, you need to be on blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't ask to be on shows. Mainly, I don't have the time. Like my schedule doesn't line up with most people. This is why we're streaming in the dead of night and everyone else is in bed. You know? If I got an invite, would I try to make it work? Absolutely. They stream from 9 to 11 my time. I could probably make it work. I could probably spend a day where it's like, okay, I'll just try to be home and get my kids to maybe go outside and play for a couple hours. I don't know, something. There are no mainstream games that are Gunner games. I kind of agree with you, R2. Yeah, the designs are definitely intended to chase a certain audience, but the problem was that the original argument from Melanie Mac was that it was intended, without even like making it sexual, to be a completely sexualized game. Then she was saying Stellar Blade was okay because it wasn't. I'm like, the games were made for the exact same audience. Their exact same audience was, you know, the same core audience for both games.
I mean, pretty simply, I never called for censorship. In 5 days of absolute typhoon of tism, nobody has yet produced a screenshot where I called for censorship. Blow it out your ass.
Ruddy says Bluepoint can now do a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. Thanks, Concord. Thanks, Ruddy. Appreciate that. Cease came back, says part 2. Instead of Yahtzee, sexist, or bigot, it's Gooner, Center, Loser. And like it or not, there is a market for such games and actual corn games. So much, even Valve started allowing them. I've always said the market will always decide. When it comes to this stuff, you know?
And all this was kicked off by a game that's basically dead, First Descendant, which is...
So he's not wrong that First Descendant is kind of circling the drain right now, but the next part is what he says that pisses a lot of people off, and it's how I feel about Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I've complained for a while that the people complaining about specific pieces of the second game don't understand the content of the first game, and I feel like Razorfist kind of applies it applies to him here in regards to First Descendant. I played First Descendant when it launched. I played it a couple times. I found it to be a subpar Warframe with, better looking characters, but in general, more boring gameplay. And the voice dubs for the English dubs were terrible. So I stopped playing the game. To me, this strikes me as for him never having touched First Descendant, so he doesn't even understand the game itself, right?
Yeah, they were putting that kind of stuff in the game basically to try and inject life into it, and it worked for a minute. They sold some DLCs. It was DLC or something, right? And then the game promptly died again.
Yeah, again, this is a really, really retarded take by Razer. And you got down below here, DOA Mamiji is like, no, because this was part of the launch. The game is about to have a big update with Season 3 following right after. It's dead now because people are waiting for more content. I agree and disagree, but yes, this was in the game from the get-go. It's a Pump It Next on Slop game. I kind of feel like you're right about that. Hey, Jack, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. Like I said, I did not enjoy the game. I found parts of it enjoyable, but in general, it felt like a ripoff of Warframe that wasn't done as well. Okay? That being said, to say that they added the titillation to the game to try to bring people back, that's insane. This is the kind of outfits you had from the get-go, from the very beginning. So this is, again, somebody speaking on a game that they have no experience playing. So it just is what it is, right? So he just makes himself look ignorant in the situation, which again seems to be something that happens more and more. First Sin is dead because it's mid, not because it's good. Dezo, I 100% agree with you. There are people who keep singing this game's praises, and I'm like, for me to not be able to just like get into a game that, look, I play games that I can jump into and just pick up where I left off, or that I can play for an hour and a half and go to bed and, not have to think about it anymore. So for me, this is the kind of game I should be able to just hop on, do a couple missions, upgrade my stuff, and go to bed. But it didn't interest me, Yeah, there's a lot of grinding in the game. And they do that because they want people to spend money. It's a game full of microtransactions. If you want to criticize the game, criticize it for its microtransactions. Yes, the character models look better than Warframe, but Warframe is a far superior game. I will die on this hill. Warframe, I put a few hundred hours into Warframe. That game is fantastic if you can get into the game, because it's a grindy game, right? Shooter game made with Gunnar material. I think that's fair, but again, I don't think that makes it. The argument was that she was trying to justify that Stellar Blade wasn't when this game was. When I argue that if you want to label them both, fine, label them both Gunnar or label them both not. But the reality is they were marketed to the exact same audience, and she was trying to justify her opinion as to why one was okay and one wasn't. That, for me, was the controversy. Game's trash where they started to scream and preach Gunnars, and now they're shocked by internet reaction. It's the funniest thing. Warframe's movement is fantastic. Oh yeah, Desert. I did not play Warframe at launch. I started playing it about 4 years ago, and I played it solid for about a year and a half, and it was fantastic. Because at that point there was a lot of the expansions, the not DLC because it's free. Those parts are free. But yeah, it was just a fantastic story, fantastic game. But unfortunately, like I said, this has kind of devolved into where we are now. So now Fritanga has this clip. It says, LOL, Razorfist starts having a meltdown at the super chatters, calling him a simp for Melanie Mac and defending her censorship over video games. So this is pretty funny. It's sad to see your heroes fall, because like I said, I really liked Razorfist. I liked a lot of his content. I thought his one, I think it was 2-part video on Abraham Lincoln was absolutely fantastic. Completely changed the way I look at a lot of history now. But unfortunately, he doesn't apparently know how to take criticism. So here was him earlier last Tuesday.
Funny shysters. Nethel King says, hard to disagree on Razor. We take issue with Melanie's conduct and hypocrisy, characterizing it as filling diapers and smearing seems dishonest to me.
Yeah, this was again something that Razorfist had said, basically that everybody who had a problem with Melanie Mac was just filling their diapers and smearing it.
Are there any that don't come from e-drama dogshit merchants? Any?
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's see if we can find some of those blabs. Just actual,
Yeah.
And Craig, as much as I like Craig, I hate the fact that he's trying to work around the super chats that are mean to Razor so that he doesn't offend Razor. So I guess Razorfist, though, is taking a hiatus, as it turns out. Warframe was a fun, grindy kind of game. You played a bunch of TFD. You did. Did I goon over it? Hell no. No, and that's entirely the intent of the person playing it, guys. Like I said before. If you don't like it, don't buy it. That's also true, Hippo. That's the thing, Dezo. I like Razorfist's little 8-minute rants, you know? So apparently, yeah, he told Craig that he's done on the show for now. He's taking a hiatus. Not just, it sounds like, from Stuttering Craig and Side Scrollers, but also from pretty much any other overlap with any other channel as well.
And JJ says, will Razorfist still be featured on Side Scrollers? Well, so Razor's going to step away from the show. It's a decision that he made. And says he's ramping up stuff to work on Volume 2 of Ghost of the Badlands and Volume 3 of his book series, of his comic and everything, and Volume 3 of his book series. So he's going to step away. And he's been meaning to step away from shows like this, like us. And I guess he's going to step away from F&T and things like that as well. So to focus on his own personal stuff. So Razor made that decision, and we are going to honor it. So, like I said, nobody works on a contract.
I do kind of feel like Razor didn't make that decision himself, if I'm being honest. I find that a little hard to believe. I think my whole issue with the way Side Scrollers is handling it is mainly in blabs. She came out about Grums trying to point out some sketchy content he posted a while back, but Razor's info that was released has seemed to fly blindly by her radar. Touching grass does help for your mental health. It does. It does indeed. My issue with Razor in this situation, as somebody who I purchased Ghost of the Badlands because I love George Alexopoulos, and I got the t-shirt that came with it and stuff. It was really cool. Ghost of the Badlands is by far a really awesome graphic novel. But that being said, my issue with it as somebody who has watched his content and seen him, like I had memes that made their way into Razorfist videos. Okay. That being said, the fact that there may or may not be allegations that he was in a relationship with somebody who at the time was not even of legal age, I don't care about the other internet stuff. Like I said, people all have pasts on the internet, especially those of us who grew up with it. But the whole, like, there are certain things that are really hard to move past, really hard to move on from, you know? All right, Blu-ray, have a good night, dude. You like John Trent, but even he got dragged into it? Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, John Trent and John Della Rose have included themselves in it at this point, willingly. So, I mean, when a person's your friend, it's harder to criticize them. Oh, sure. And I think, again, a lot of people are calling the Quartering a simp because he pays Melanie Mac, she works for him, they're buddies. And I don't think that it's wrong for him to stick up for his friend. But again, going after people and saying, well, maybe just work on your porn addiction. It's like, guys, we're not talking about that, you know? There is a Japanese YouTube. You can't believe people are saying it's not Japanese people. Anyways. Yeah, I know, Grace. It's crazy. You always try to reserve judgment based on allegations alone, right, Oblivion. But here's the thing. If somebody was alleging that and it's been for years and it comes out and it's like making the rounds, I'd be the first one to say, yo, this is all BS. You know, maybe you come out and address it and say, yeah, by the way, that chick wasn't 15. That didn't happen. People who remain silent on it, that's a little bit more concerning in my opinion. When you go over 10 plus to dig up stuff on someone, I'm sure a ton of these people have dirt. People haven't looked up on them. Yeah, Black Cat. And honestly, there's a certain point where looking up dirt just for the sake of flinging mud gets nobody anywhere. I've said this for a while. Anytime that I was looking up tweets that somebody had put out there or past connections they had, places they'd worked, people they worked with, it was entirely as part of like an investigation into the mindset and the people behind the scenes making games, working at studios, influencing decisions that have been made, that we're noticing in the video game industry, all that kind of stuff, right? So it was never one of these things like, oh, I don't like this person because they look stupid, they look funny, and so I'm going to pull all their mean tweets. No, it went back to the whole pattern recognition thing. It was this whole, we have these people in the industry who absolutely hate gamers, hate their customers, and as such, spend their time, shit posting and talking crap about them while making their games inferior products. And oh, by the way, they worked for this company and they had connections to this person. And oh, by the way, this person was their tutor and this was where they got their training, that's when it gets to like, okay, this is more than just digging up dirt on somebody. This is connections and an investigation. This stuff on Razor, it's like, you could go down this deep rabbit hole and you could do an investigation into this because he is a public person and people do have the right to know if this person is a groomer. But at the same time, if it's just internet drama allegations, it feels gross to get into, you know? It's more keeping private things private for me. It doesn't mean I'm not doing anything about it, just not broadcasting it if it's a friend doing it. Yeah, this is why I say sometimes it's easier just to like not have friends online. I don't know, because I've had connections, I've had associations. I don't know if I would consider anybody that I have communicated with on YouTube or whatnot, with a few exceptions. There are a few notable exceptions, and I'll keep those to myself. Other YouTubers and people that I've met through YouTube and stuff that I would consider friends, right? But in general, it's like if tomorrow, if Veridark has some dirt come out about her, I'm not going to go rushing to defend her. I'm going to be like, well, wait and see what happens, right? Because I don't know her as a person. I know her as a content creator, and from our interactions, she's a very nice person. That's all I know. Same with Yellow Flash over here, or Stuttering Craig, or anybody in the content creation space. I don't need to die on the hill for somebody who I don't truly know. If it's somebody you have an actual connection to, a person in real life, a friend, an actual in real life friend, that's a whole different story. That one night in Tokyo, man. Look up that song, One Night in Tokyo. That's from Beast in Black. Friggin' love Swedish metal. Oh, context is different. Okay. Yeah, and see, that's R2. That's the difference. Is I think. Well, the thing is, I haven't gone out of the way to verify all of the receipts, but I don't fault anybody for going out of the way to do it because public figure, really serious allegation, and if there's truth to it, people do deserve to know. And as such, I don't think, friendships aside, if somebody's got allegations against them like that, that you need to just rush out to defend them. I mean, I don't know. It's such a tough situation. Yeah, I really like Razor. And I honestly, since finding out this stuff, I haven't unsubscribed to him yet on YouTube. I just haven't, like, he did a rant on Biden pardoning people and stuff, like pardoning Fauci, and I really wanted to watch it, and I just felt like I just can't make myself click play. I just don't want to watch it now. I don't know. It's a very strange situation. Unfortunately, it's made a big mess for a lot of people, where just a lot of us don't really, like I said earlier about the whole Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 thing, it's okay to not know how you feel about something for a while. And right now, I think I'm in that situation with a lot of people in this content creation space on YouTube, on Twitter, where I just don't know how I feel about a lot of people, you know? Well, see, Matt Adam, I couldn't even watch the Smash JT video about it. Most of the stuff that was in there, I'd already read. The video was annoying as hell. Those two guys, I guess it's what Kino Casino are the guys that were covering it. I just couldn't personally like take it. I couldn't watch the video. Something about it was getting on my nerves. Like trying to look behind while staring straight ahead. 100% Envec, and honestly, that I've kind of felt that way for a while now. About a few things where it's like the more people kind of expose themselves and the more people come out of their shell and you kind of see them for who they are, it's very hard to just turn around and ignore it and pretend you didn't see it, you know? Primarily about your own endowment. Oh, man. I just woke up, hope I'm not getting a supper crust. Oh, you're good, dude. No worries. Yeah, it was news to me too at the time. I had no idea. But yeah, don't mess with kids is a good rule. That's I think rule number one for most people right there. Expose themselves. I didn't mean it like that, okay? Well, speaking of exposing themselves, people like this dude that works for Blizzard posted on Facebook at some point, or LinkedIn, kill your local MAGA. Blizzard technical artist and associates art director of Gearbox both wish death to 50% of America in a post and likes to their public Facebook. And of course, this is after we've seen, you know, this freaking CEO Developer Activision Blizzard doubles down DEI as US DoD reverses course. It's insane that these companies are doubling down on this crap, and then you see shit about how these people are posting stuff like that. Yeah, you see right here, Kyle Hickey on LinkedIn, kill your local MAGA. That is absolutely, yeah. People expose themselves. It's what they do. If you give anybody long enough and enough of a microphone, they will out themselves. I'm a heartbeat for putting to debate the communist. I'm cringy at it. I think it's good for folks to acknowledge things that they're bad at. That's true. I have a lot of things I'm bad at. I think it's always useful to talk about that, to try to get better at things. That's why you try to tend to go to for me, I'm not a comedy channel, but I apologize for that. For me, I think the chat is funnier than I am. So I get my laughs from you guys. This is crazy. The dude from Epic Games lets his employees talk shit like this as well. Yes, Meg, and it only goes one way. That's the craziest part. It only ever goes one way. You try doing this the other direction, and you'll hear people like freaking out, and the rigging will be insane. People will be coming out of the woodworks about it. But in this situation, it's like, oh no, it's fine. This guy's not going to lose his job. It's not going to, it's not going to have any effect on anybody. Expose themselves long enough, yes. Probably a little bit too on the nose. Well, and it just gets worse, Anvek, when you realize that there are legitimately insane people. Like, okay, have you guys seen that chart where you have the conservative versus liberal, where conservatives care about their family and friends, and it goes like further and further out where they just don't care about anybody else, versus the liberals who don't care about their family and friends, and all they care about is everyone else out there because everyone else is a victim. And it's like, this is the problem. That they look at their neighbors, they look at people who vote differently than them, but everything else they could probably get along on, as the enemy, as somebody that doesn't even deserve to be living. And that's the world that we've cultivated at this point. And it's unfortunate because it didn't used to be that way. Quite deadpan. Hey, there you go. You don't expect comedy more of a side benefit of the fun people you hang around? Dude, honest to God, somebody a couple streams ago told me, thank you for actually acknowledging the chat. Thank you for talking to chat. And I'm like, why would I not? If I was in like I've done group streams before on other people's channels. We did that with the Star Trek. Oh my God, we got that coming up. What's the date? Today's, I got to talk to Moxie. We should have our Star Trek stream coming up this Sunday night. Oh God, I hope we're still doing that. Moxie Dame has been doing the last Sunday of every month. We've been doing a Star Trek script read along, which has been fantastic. It's been freaking amazing, right? But yeah, it's hard to keep up with the chat in those kind of situations. Let's see, not related really, but I learned from Danzig yesterday that the song Mother from Danzig was about Democrats being fascists. But it's related that you never really know what something's about. One banger after another, and this is just first month of 2025. Yeah. I didn't watch Section 31. Guys, I am not a Trekkie, so I'm quickly becoming interested in watching, going back and watching Star Trek. I grew up on, freaking Next Generation, so I did grow up, I watch a lot of
best way to show
Picard and all that other stuff, right?
It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars.
My alerts are so long.
Good stream, just chillin' and chatting.
100% just chilling and chatting. Guys, I like chilling and chatting. Even if we have a topic or things that I want to get through, I don't mind getting distracted with you guys. It's fun. It's cool to just kind of like go off on a tangent. Moxie's a legend. Yeah, I know where your brain's at, R2. Yeah. Dude, honestly, here's the thing. I don't have enough time to watch what I do want to watch. I'm not going to watch Star Trek, dude. How do we stop big business from being socially leftist? Stop giving them your money. Okay, so I've said this before and I'll say it again. Target last year. I was part of the boycott that Target, basically gave up on their Pride Month shit because of. My wife and I, back early last year, when we started hearing about how Target was going to have like all the Pride Month merchandise with all the gender neutral bathing suits where kids could wear a girl's bathing suit and tuck their it's like the whole thing. I'm like, no, not supporting this. So a bunch of people around the country said, we're not going to give Target our money. We all boycotted. By the end of the year, Target was like, okay, we get it. And they learned their lesson. Now you have Target giving up DEI initiatives as a company, okay? These companies are learning. Costco, who I have personally spent tens of thousands of dollars a year, year after year after year, again, personally, tens of thousands of dollars. I do most of my like bulk grocery shopping, furniture, clothing, electronics, all sorts of stuff at Costco, right? I could just replace Costco. It would suck, but I could go somewhere else. And I've tagged Costco on Twitter. And I'm like, hey, learn from Target. Because Costco's like, well, we're not going to drop our DEI initiatives. Well, you'll learn if we all stop spending our money there. And they will. It won't take them very long. Okay, true, Krylo. You will have to boycott one thing at a time. But if you organize, if you actually boycott one thing at a time, if you go after one business at a time and say, fix this or we're done, they will all change. Now, I'm not saying that look, we've talked about this for a long time. Woke or DEI or, leftism or communism, these ideas are never going to completely go away. Because as long as there's somebody who wants to be victimized, somebody who wants to make a victim like a victim class or have victim status, they're never going to completely go away, okay? But you can have effective boycotts that will affect change. It has happened. We've seen it. It's also why a lot of the companies dropping DEI nonsense last year did it. Yeah, you wait long enough and that system will fall on its own. We've seen success. So certain industries, it might take longer. Has Bud Light bounced back yet? I don't know. But to be honest, guys, I'm going to be a beer snob. I think all light beer is disgusting. And Bud Light was no exception to that. So Bud doesn't get any of my money, ever. Here, but the bonus for DEI is a skill. Dude, Disney will die as a company before they ever give it up. They're that one exception where I don't think they will ever learn, As Gillette, I don't know. Unfortunately, I think that Gillette thing, because they were so early on in a lot of the public outrage, the whole best a man can get, and now it's like all trans stuff. I think Gillette kind of was able to skate by. You don't buy Gillette, there you go. Yeah, there's enough other alternatives. You don't have to go to the Daily Wire to buy a razor, okay? There are other alternatives to Gillette. There are plenty of other companies out there. But for some weird reason, people get to that whole gimmicky idea where they feel like they have to go and buy Gillette, or they have to buy Harry's razors, or whatever the name brand is. I mean, I get it. Somebody has a lot of facial hair. When you want to shave, you need a good shave, right? You just don't want the products and services in the first place. Hey, that's not a bad stance. You tried tried boycotting Viagra because they promote being blue-pilled, but it was honestly hard to really pull out. They were holding me firm, no matter how rigid my stance. Oh, good God. I need to copy and paste that somewhere. That is fantastic. You win. That's like, you get a... Let me see if my soundboard's even working. I keep forgetting that I have this. You get a... Yeah. Didn't people try to boycott Doritos? What did Doritos do? I can't remember. Yeah, so Star Trek is one of those things. Oh my God, hang on. Before we get all done, and before we're done trashing Star Trek, let me grab something. Hang on a second. That's what she said. No, I don't need all of these. I just need this one. Also what she said. I bookmarked it. Where are we at? Okay. I should have just gone straight to bookmarks. It was the very top one. This is... Where did that go? So, Doctor Who just announced, our TARDIS team just got a bit bigger. Welcome aboard our new writers for Season 2. Juno Dawson, Inua Ellams, I don't know, Pete McTeague, and Sharma Angel Walfall. Okay. I have no idea who any of these people are. Top comment here, Mara Jade, no one normal is going to watch this show anymore. But it's even better than that, because Master of the TDS points out, you literally chose the author of This Book is Gay and think that this will save the show. You must be actively trying to tank the franchise. I can't believe anybody would be this stupid by mistake. When I saw this, my brain instantly went to Star Trek. because I could not believe, because I was never a Doctor Who watcher. I didn't watch it growing up. I don't have any interest in it. Now it seems like it's so bad I wouldn't even want to go there. But holy shit, like I can't even imagine who is still watching this show at this point. Too many cooks in the kitchen? Dude, too many cooks in the kitchen is exactly what has caused so much of the issue with all the DEI stuff. And Anvek, thanks again for the 5. Appreciate it, dude. Doctor Who's become pain to even hear about. Dude, I watch Doctor Who in clips 30 seconds at a time on Twitter. That's where I get my Doctor Who, you know, fill, fix, whatever you want to call it. Because again, I don't even care because I don't watch the show to begin with. So for me, I don't feel any pain. It's not like Star Wars. For me, Star Wars dying
Do I need
was
to be
painful.
liked? Absolutely not.
You know?
I like to be liked.
Holy shit, dude.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not.
Oh my god, big shit.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. Do I need
Oh, you
to
got
be
a lot of
liked?
good channels on that one,
Absolutely
man.
not.
You got
I like to be
Retromania,
liked.
Words of
Do
Paradise.
I need to be liked? Absolutely not.
Damn, dude.
I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked.
I have to be liked. Dude, 10 gifted subs. Holy shit, man. I appreciate you. You get a round of applause if I can find one. Let me see if I can find one. It's probably not going to work. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. I don't have the round of applause on here anymore. I'm so sorry. Maybe we got something here. Nope, that's it. That's not it. You don't want that one. There we go. Still not you. I'm sorry, Desert. We'll get you one of these days. Has NS changed their username? No, but NS was here. He was here on Friday. He was actually hanging out for quite a while. Yeah, hopefully he's okay. I know he's probably going through some stuff. I don't know. Does mean whoever's in charge isn't doing their job still if the writing lacks focus to the audience. For Leon subscribed against his will. Hey, I get subscribed to his channel, or gifted to his channel all the time, so it happens to both of us. It was his turn. Big Ship, thanks again, buddy. That is freaking generous of you, man. I was just gonna hit this one because I couldn't find the applause one. But I didn't think that was appropriate. Oh man. Yeah, so guys, Doctor Who is dead, and we were talking about the boycott thing and all that, and it just made me realize that the majority of people still watching these shows, the only thing that keeps these shows afloat, I think, at this point, are people who either hate watch it or content creators who watch it to make content off of. So genuinely, as much fun as it is to occasionally watch a bad show and be like, okay, I want to cover this on my channel, so I have to watch it right. It would do the world a lot bigger favor if we all just stopped watching it, if we all just walked away. Juno Dawson is trans, making perfect. I mean, really? You couldn't tell? I had no idea. I was shocked to find out that wasn't really a biological female. You don't subscribe to Leon because you see him on everyone else's channels. Dude, that is so fair. I get that. Although I will say, there are a few people, again, talking about friends, not really friends are IRL, whatever, but there are people who I think I have good relationships with that I would consider people I could trust even if we're not friends. Recently, Nure, the Spanish chick, she's a genuine person, even if she doesn't always agree with like a lot of the anti-woke takes. And I disagree with her on a lot of stuff too, but like she seems like a genuine person. Leon, Moxie, Mari is another genuine one. Of course, all of you guys in the chat, but I'm talking specifically like about other people I've interacted with, like DMs and been on their channels and stuff. From what I know from interacting with him in DM, Smash is super genuine. So, God, Empress of Mankind, yeah, DB. I mean, she says it like it is. Whether you agree with her or not is a whole different story. You're shocked to discover he's not a biological female. I know, right? Shocking. But I still would be careful. Like I said, people like Razorfist defending Melanie Mac, Cording defending Melanie Mac, and then everyone else jumping on the bandwagon. It's like, look, I'm friends with like Dread Roberts, or friendly with him, I should say, up until like I haven't seen Dread Roberts posting much on Twitter. He stopped making videos on YouTube because he's moving to Korea and all that. So, I mean, I think he and I are on good terms, even though we disagree on a lot of this stuff. So, people just, I don't know, I feel like the internet's fractured as much as we are fractured as a society at this point. So, when you're on PC, hit the subscribe button, then the option bit, and select the membership enable bit. Same goes. Oh, Big Ship, you don't gotta pressure them, buddy. It's okay. Dude, honestly, memberships are great, super chats are great, but I enjoy most having the same people show up, stream in and stream out, because it means that you guys either get something. I know he was patient zero for Gamergate. He was. I appreciate you guys just spending your time with me, you know? That's honest to God it. That's all I care about. Is that you guys actually feel like you get something out of my channel, something out of my content, or something out of hanging out in the stream in the chat here. You know, that's for all the criticism we do. When we do a lot of it. And I'm going to constantly criticize things going forward because I've always been a critical person. So this whole YouTube thing comes naturally to me, right? When it comes to criticizing people. Why you do this, Dread Roberts? Look, Dread actually made a good point. The problem was his point got someone else picked up the ball and ran with it, and it turned into something that he did not intend for it to be. Now he may have a moral issue with games like First Descendant, but he also wasn't coming out and saying, "Oh, Stellar Blade is so based and wonderful, and it's the best game ever." You know, he didn't defend Stellar Blade, as far as I know. Maybe he did, but I think his point, whether he meant for it to be anything beyond that or not, was simply sexual content in a game doesn't make up for a lack of gameplay, which I 100% agree with. I think that take is 100%, legitimate. No, DB, we'll both take Viagra and then we'll meet in the middle. How about that? I hope he comes back too. I really hope so too, because Dread put a lot of time and effort into his videos, and I really enjoyed his content. So I'm hoping after he moves and gets settled, as long as he still wants to, I hope he goes back to making videos. He seems like a really cool guy. Yeah, no, Dread's awesome. Yeah, maybe he's more religious than other people would really care for, but you know what? It's whatever. Everyone's going to have difference of opinions on everything, and everyone's going to have their own moral proclivities and opinions. And, look, I'm going to be judgmental about people because I have my own set of ethics and morals. However, at the end of the day, I'm not going to expect you to live by my ethics or whatever, because that's just not the way the world works. So when a good point gets buried by loud emotions, I wander away. Yeah, that's... And honestly, I think that's what happened. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, when that entire thing happened, I said right from the get-go, I think his point was good. I think the delivery was bad. And so, unfortunately, a bad delivery can really sully a good point. Some of those cats are too emotional for me, too. I'm not in here to get outraged. Often it's just I need a break. Yeah, that's why I try to present things from a more level-headed perspective. Look, you can look at a thumbnail or a headline and go, oh my God, this is just outrage clickbait. But I try to do more than that with my videos, because if there's nothing there to talk about, very often I just won't make a video. And that's what will end up happening is I'll get to the end of the day, I'll be like, okay, I've got an hour and a half. My wife's working. My kids are in bed finally. This topic isn't resonating with me. I don't truly care enough about this topic to make a video, and I'm not going to fake whether or not I care about it. If I really care about it, like the one I made earlier, even if I'm wrong, even if my opinion is not going to align with the majority of people, at least I still felt passionately about it, If the knees don't touch, it doesn't count. My God. Oh, you guys are killing me. All right. Shame we had to shoot the messenger. Yeah, I feel that way too. Bad delivery is particularly bad if it's the introduction or during a tense moment. Also true. I think that there's a lot to be said for that, Oh yeah, no, Susano, I don't try to ever come across from a morally superior position, because I'm not. The thing is, and I've dealt with this with my own family, with people I don't talk to anymore, with friends and everything else. I understand my own shortcomings as a human being, no pun intended, short man humor. But I also accept that there are some things that I can look at morally and say, well, I think this is objectively wrong. One of those things is DEI. One of those things is forcing people to feel sorry for the race that they, their ethnicity or their race or whatever you want to call it, whatever word you want to put on it, right? Another one is forcing people to consume content that they don't morally agree with. Those two things I have a very strong opinion about, and I will be very judgmental about those things. Beyond that, yeah, I'll have opinions about how people live their lives, but in general, it's I'm not going to go out of my way to make an outrage about something that generally is not worth talking about. Like a sad science fair volcano. So a lot of times, like, I think Nightcore has asked me about stuff before, or Mahendra about, like, the localization stuff, anime, manga, that kind of stuff. And while it is interesting and it is stuff that needs to be covered, because I'm not a huge anime or manga guy, I just don't tend to cover it. Not that it's not important. I just can't come at it genuinely going, oh yeah, look, listen, you know, this anime used to be like this and they've changed. I don't know. I don't know about it. It's not something that I understand. I didn't get that joke, went over my head. Oh yeah, you bastards. All right. That being said, guys, I do have to get to sleep because tomorrow is another work day. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna go through Streamlabs and I'm gonna create a list of banned words from the channel. Based is gonna be on there. Based is not gonna be allowed. Pretty soon in the future, once everything settles down and we stop seeing so many like trans identifying characters in video games and everything isn't like pink and purple colored and it doesn't all have the same retarded looking animations and everything gets back to just being good, enjoyable games regardless of the content, then we're going to start banning all the words. Based, DEI, woke. We're going to get rid of all the Gooner. We're going to ban the word Gooner. We're going to ban all of it. Hey, Hakami, thanks again for DMing me, dude. That was like huge. That article that I wrote for my website, it kind of blew up. So appreciate you contacting me with that info, dude. Couldn't have done it without you. That's also based. You gonna start censoring? You know what? Damn it, it's my channel. What's the point if I can't censor something? We can't say to them, hey, Mr. Hardcore Mode. Dude, I honestly appreciate your takes on a lot of this Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 stuff. And Mr. Hardcore, let me say this again because I don't know how long you've been here. About this entire situation with Kingdom Come 2, I think a lot of us react quickly or we react emotionally, and sometimes you need to sit and think about things for a while, wait for more information to come in, which is what I tried to do. But at the end of the day, I think personally that we just need to spend more time not knowing how we feel about things and just kind of letting it all kind of seep in until we figure out how we feel, you know? Not coming to conclusions, obviously, but like it's okay to take a while to figure out how you feel about stuff. And that's, I think, my life lesson that I'm taking from this last couple of weeks. Sometimes you just don't know how you feel for a long period of time. And it takes you a while. Sometimes it just takes you a while to get to that point where you think you've finally figured out what's bothering you, why it's bothering you, and how you can, you know, figure that out. The I woke mob is gooning over how bait. God. Yes, that entire sentence will be stricken from the record. It'll be banned in the future. Yeah, you don't, and it's hard, Susano. It's really hard for me because I've always been opinionated. I've always been opinionated my entire life, for good, bad, or otherwise. And it's taking me about a stupid video game that comes out in a week that a couple of years ago I wouldn't have cared about as much because I hadn't even played the first game yet. Well, I've tried playing it. I gave up and then I went back to it years later. It's taken me this entire situation to really get down to where it's like, okay, you know, I don't need to have a fully fleshed out, formulated opinion about something until I really know how I feel about it. So, you see no problems with censorship? No, you know, honestly, dude, I have people that come in here, and you guys have probably seen them, that they get into a lot of the Jews stuff, and it's like, in general, as long as you're not breaking like terms of service on YouTube and all sorts of stuff like that, and not getting me flagged needlessly, I try to not delete comments and all that because it's like I don't want to restrict chat, you know. But there'll even be times where people get going and I'm just like, oh god, would you just stop, just shut up, you know. And I still don't want to hit ban or remove or timeout or whatever because it's like the last thing I want to do is start doing YouTube's job for them. Like YouTube eats half of what you guys say. So I have YouTube chat right up here, and then I got Streamlabs over here, and half of what you guys say on the YouTube chat, which isn't even bad, gets eaten by YouTube. So yeah, Mr. Hardcore, honestly, like I said, but I appreciate your coverage of it because I think that you've had a lot of good opinions about it too. You've had a lot of good like nuance to it. You just don't have time at a certain. It's my age. damn near 40. That's the problem. What does it take to get into fan translation? I don't know. But devs, respect your fans, please. 100%, dude. That's where I'm at now. Like I said, I put the story out there about how, I had confirmation that the game's now banned in Saudi Arabia. And like I said on your channel, do I care that I can't play it in Saudi Arabia? No, I'm not in Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia bans plenty of games. What I care about is the statement that, oh, well, it's not banned to our knowledge, but then here we have this story that broke 2 weeks ago about it, and here we have confirmation that the game's banned in Saudi. It's just the dishonesty. Just the dishonesty. That's it. That's all. Oh yeah, Anvek, honestly, YouTube is becoming a very, very small world. I'm bouncing into people's chats. I was in Mr. Hardcore's earlier, and I saw Chester, somebody who was in the chat on Friday when I was playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. So, get back to me in 10 years. I got less than a year and a half. So, we're creeping up on 40. It is what it is. That would actually be a hilarious joke if you brought up my comments just to delete them. I don't delete anything. I don't. I swear to God, I don't. Okay? In fact, I can't even delete your comments because, well, I can from here. Remove. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. I got all the power right here. Holy crap. I could do whatever I want to. Wow. I should have pinned DB's message about his Viagra earlier. Why didn't I do that? It's because I'm a boomer. That's why. We kind of get locked into whatever we're currently into here. I think that's definitely it. Saudi Arabia doesn't eat bacon, so why should I trust them? See, look, it censored Mr. Hardcore. That comment didn't pop up as far as I can tell. And that was a damn fine comment. Yeah, if you can't trust anybody who doesn't eat bacon. And I'll die on that hill. All right, guys, I'm going to hit the hay. We'll be back on Wednesday. Nightcore is going to be so excited. We are playing My Side, or however it's pronounced, on Wednesday. We do our indie streams on Wednesday. And then Friday, back with Kingdom Come Deliverance before the game launches on the 4th, which I believe is a Tuesday. So I don't know. We'll do a Tuesday night stream when the game launches. It's going to nuke my graphics card. I'm so terrified. I'm going to have to turn all the graphics settings down to minimum settings. All of my recommendations are ML, AI, even when I'm not interested. That's what I mean. I mean, once you start looking at something, that's what happens. All right, Mr. Hardcore, Blithian, R2, Susano, Envek, Smeg, Big Ship. Who else we got? Christos, DB. DB, hey, I'll meet you in the middle later, all right? Hey, Desert, hey, glad you could show up, buddy. Appreciate you. Alton, and of course, who we got left? I'm going to try to hit everybody since we had a little bit smaller stream. Hakami, again, huge shout out to you, dude. H. Brown, of course. I think that's everybody who's currently here. Lord Shadow, you have a good night as well. And of course, R2. Well, I'm going to keep it real, whether it kills me or not, because the last thing I'm going to have people accusing me of is being a grifter just because of the fact that, all of a sudden, oh, he's changing his opinion. I'm not changing my opinion. I'm growing as a person. Lucia, thank you so much again, dude. Yeah, everybody who has been here hanging out, super chats, memberships, all of that. Like I said, guys, the money side of it, I have a job. My job helps pay my bills. This is a hobby that is a side thing, but this little bit helps as well. I don't expect any of you guys to part with your hard-earned income. We're just here to hang out. And I appreciate all you guys for anything you do, even if it's just liking a video. Like, honest to God, you guys are the reason I'm here, so. All right, guys, you all have a good one. I will see you guys